I'm just going to describe it as weird. The people who know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know, maybe if the video does really well, yeah, tell you what, right? Editor, put this at the start of the video. Right? If this video does really well, talking 100,000 views in the first month, I'll do another video on Endless Legend. I tell you that. And I'll go over some of the game's mechanics and stuff. So did you hear me, editor? Put this at the start of the video. 100,000 views a month, I'll do another video. So if you want another Endless Legend video, share it, like it, comment, do everything you need to do. Show your love for this game, because I've been really enjoying it. Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Endless Legend. This is a game from Amplitude, the people who made Humankind, and this is honestly one of my favorite non-historical, non-space 4X games, because they actually built a really beautiful and deep world in Endless Legend. And honestly, I think it has a lot going for it. Now, I'm not very good at this game, so I'm going to be playing on hard difficulty, which is just a step above normal, okay? It's like playing on King or Emperor, okay? Now, my favorite faction to play is I always loved playing the Broken Lords, because I love the idea of being these like chivalrous knights that, they don't heal. They're almost like Necrons, except they use money instead of souls, and really fascinating, really love it. Now, there is also the possibility here to create a custom faction. So you could, for example, you could choose your affinity, right? So I could choose the affinity of the Broken Lords. So you can see these are all the Broken Lords traits. If I go in here and I create a Broken Lords, let's call this the Absurdly Broken Lords. A fun combo to take here is to go for Dust Starved, level 2. That costs you like a little bit of upfront dust, but you can then take like the Businessman trait and get a huge boost to your dust per turn. I'm gonna play the default Broken Lords. I'm not gonna try to create my own ones. I like these guys. They're dust efficient. You could maybe make the argument that we should get rid of like advanced armor. So like in my opinion, advanced armor isn't particularly good. It can be good, but look, I'm not gonna customize this guy. I'm gonna let them just be what they are. We'll play them how they are, but you can create your custom factions, which is a really cool thing. It's quite rare for this kind of game, unless it's a space-based one. So we're gonna be playing against random players, 8 players. We're gonna go with I could go with Auriga. Yeah, let's do Auriga. Let's do the actual sort of built world that they built for the faction for the game. Now, I really want to emphasize here, I am not very good at this game. Okay, you've watched me play a whole host of other games where I'm quite good. Endless Legend, for some reason, it's a game I could never get good at. There's also amazing cinematics for the launch of the game and for every faction. Now, I believe that Draken, they have the ability to see everyone at the start of the game. Yeah, here you go. Well connected. Gives the Empire the knowledge of every starting position for every player. So the Draken has some pretty interesting trading consequences here. Okay, so taking a look at our starting location, we are starting in what I would consider to be pretty bad terrain for the Dust Lords. If I turn on the economic bonuses of tiles, you can see the Dust Lords really like gold. Now, in a pinch, I'll take a river and a little bit of gold. So I'm thinking of settling up here, adjacent to this neutral town. We could, in theory, go forth and search further, but I'm just going to trust that the game, has made a reasonable decision to put me here. And we're going to focus on developing production first. So here's our population. The Dust Lords do not create food. We buy population with gold. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is to queue up the Founders Monument, which will give me 2 production, 2 gold, 2 science, and 1 influence on my city. So we'll slowly build that. Now I have a couple of options here with how I want to move forward. My leader here has dust efficiency 2, so I could assign him to the city to help develop it more quickly. Dust efficiency is a decent skill. I think it's better later in the game, but it's not terrible. I could also pick up here the +1 gold on terrain with rivers, +1 gold on terrain with dust, and then I could eventually make my way up to the 15% gold on the city, as well as preventing any negative effects from winter. Yes, this game models a winter. And then eventually, pick up Inspirational Leader for an extra 20% across the board. So I could push this guy in the direction of being a sort of static leader of my army. And that's actually a perfectly legitimate thing to do. The first thing that I'm going to do is to create a new version of the Stalwarts. These are going to be the Garrison Draft. Their job is to be incredibly cheap to provide experience to our leaders. Now the Stalwarts, I'm going to upgrade them in a very particular way. I'm going to give them +1 movement, so we can explore the map more quickly. And I'm going to give them Claymores. This will lower their defense and increase their attack and their damage. However, so like I lose the shield with the block and the sharp sense. You see here, block gives you 10% defense when attacked, which is basically always, and sharp sense is an extra 20% defense against range attacks. I like the claymore because I like doing a lot more damage. I find killing is more important, and then I rely on armor here to get the unit's defense as well as leader skills. So this is the Stalwart 2. It's a little bit stronger. You can see here, right? This garrison draft, 140 life, 52 defense, whereas this guy is 158 life and 59 defense. Your attack and defense are compared when you get attacked, and that like dictates the whether or not you graze or you crit or whatever. And I really do think the best thing for us to do in the early game is to explore with the Baron and not spend any of his skill points. We found nothing at this empty location. Unlucky. We did think about our research. The very first thing you need as the Dust Lords is to get the Mill Foundry. That 6 production and the 15 production on your city is huge. So our first quest is escort a Broken Lords with 3 infantry units to inspect the temple ruins. Now that's down there to the south. So we're going to need to get shipyards to leave, because if I remember correctly on the Auriga map, that is actually in the water. We found another place that we can search. So it's saying, come back and search this ruin with a Delver's unit in your army and a minimum of 8 titanium and 8 glass steel, and I'll gain the Valiant Lightning crossbow. One-handed crossbow for ranged heroes. Pretty damn good. Not super important for me, however. Let's buy another pop, and we'll put that guy on production so we can work on the Founders Memorial. We also want to build the Empire Mint, although the order of buildings will change around a little bit throughout the early game. After we've researched the Mill Foundry, it could be nice to pick up Pulvistics for the extra gold. Alternatively, to get the Alchemist's Furnace and we need the resource market. So I think we'll start with the Mill Foundry. We'll kind of discuss our options when it goes from there. And we're kind of just exploring around. We're looking for villages, want to make friends with people, make enemies, do all the things. We've finished the research of the Mill Foundry. I'm going to research the Alchemist Furnace so that I can start getting titanium stacked up into my stockpile. And I would and I also have this. I would really love to build the Civilization Builder achievement here, the Museum of Auriga. Now that requires 5 titanium and 5 glass steel. If I could build this, it would be fantastic because it'll give me a bunch of approval and gold and science when my empire is happy. The 20% cost reduction is super good for the Broken Lords as well, because again, they use a lot of money-based things. So we're about to finish the Founders Memorial. We're going to go ahead and queue up the Mill Foundry. Now, we could choose to attack these villages, but I don't think that's a reasonable thing to do yet. I think the Broken Lords are a bit better off doing parley, either doing quests for neutral factions or paying them off. Right, we completed the Founders Memorial, and we're working on the Mill Foundry. That's perfect. I'm going to pop in here, and I'm going to queue up the language square, which will give us the ability to parley or bribe neutral factions. All right, we found another ancient temple ruin thing that we can explore. All right, let's do a little search here. 40 dust, that's big, especially if we can afford to buy a population soon. Baron Jocelyn Deval has leveled up. Now we could go for Indiana Bones, right, and go for a common thing, or I could go for more of a leading troops sort of direction. I think I'm far more likely to upgrade this guy for his dust efficiency ability and use him as a gold generation guy. But I am going to do a little bit of early game exploration with him. Excellent. We've researched Alchemist Furnace, so we can now gather titanium and a glass steel. I will queue up a titanium extractor and a glass steel extractor after the Empire Mint. That's kind of important because we need that 15% gold in here. Discover the Haunts. These guys are flying. They're infantry slayers, so they're good against my units, so I want to be careful. We'll do another search. Found 10 Moonleaf. We need to colonize Endigir, which is this region here. If we colonize this region, we'll get 10 Moonleaf, which is a luxury resource. So we don't want to be buying out anything right now. All of our gold should be going towards population. That'll make sense in a little while. Excellent. We completed the Mill Foundry, which is going to give us a 15% production boost, as well as 6 production per turn in the capital city. We can get to work on the Empire Mint after that. Looks like this is the end of the line down here, unfortunately. So we'll have to make our way back up north. And I think while we're just walking this infantry army back, I'm going to sort of assign my hero to the city, because you can reassign them every 5 turns. So I'll just put him in there because he will make a very small amount of extra gold for us. And that very small amount of extra gold will actually be a lot very soon. Now I could choose to upgrade him with Aquatic Dust here to get +3 gold per turn in this city. And I think that's actually a pretty reasonable choice to make, because now I'm getting an extra +1 gold on these 3 tiles. We've unlocked Language Square. I would like to unlock the sewer system because the approval and the influence is very valuable. The Broken Lords rely quite heavily on having high approval because you want your empire approval to be quite high to get bonus science and I believe it's bonus science and money, which is why we want to build the Museum of Auriga. Now we could theoretically choose to do more advanced strategies like temporary city spawning, where you basically plant a city on a science tile for a single tile and then scorch it so it doesn't actually get any advancement. But I don't think we want to do that. 6 turns until we get a new empire plan. It's going to be exciting. Now, something we could do is put 1 worker on influence here so that we could get a really good first empire plan. And so that's what I'm going to do. I want to have 40 influence by the first empire plan. It's not necessary, but it does enable me to do something really powerful. Basically, if I go... Oh, right, I forgot to spawn a pop here. Basically, if I go to my government screen and I simulate this, I can get a 20% science boost and +3 gold per pop on city, which is quite a good start to the game. It's not necessary. You could argue that production is more valuable right now, but I like kind of playing the Broken Lords as they should be played, so to speak, with gold in mind. So that's the way I'm going to play. Oh, right, I need to pop another pop. So I'm going to pop a pop in here, and they'll be in charge of production. Let's have a look at this ancient ruin. I'm not going to bring my leader over, but I will just take a peek. 10 gold was worth it. I think I can actually activate that bonus now and get that city upkeep reduction, which should save me a lot of money. I'm now making 30 gold per turn, very early into the game. We finished our titanium extractor, so we're starting to generate titanium, and I'm bringing my military home to be garrisoned in the city. Perfect, we've unlocked the sewer square, or the sewer system. Now I think it would be good to start researching science-based things, so I'm going to go ahead and grab myself the public library, 10 science and 10% science. We will queue up the sewer system. It'll be something we can build while we wait for the resources to start the Museum of Auriga. We have 40 influence, so we can stop working influence and switch over to production. Perfect. We have a glimpse of a new era. We'll kind of talk about this. We would like to build the Baron of Industry megapole as well, because that'll lower the district cost on your empire by 20%, although that will also require glass steel and titanium, 15 of each. Right, we're going to go ahead and do our empire plan. We're going to do economy and population, +3 gold per population on cities, and +20% science on our cities. Now, we need to make sure that we have 40 influence and a settler by the next era thing. Now, this turn, we don't want to switch to gold, but we will switch next turn. And hopefully... Well, actually, if I switch one guy over here now, I'll be able to buy another pop next turn, and that'll actually help out a lot. Okay, our empire plan is kicked in. Now we're getting 9 gold per pop, so we immediately just shump everybody into the pop thing here. And I'm going to build a borough on this tile. This is how you expand your city. Every 2 population you have, you could build a borough. It costs you 10 happiness, but it gets you +1 gold, +1 science, and +1 influence. And this will also claim this step soil for the +10 happiness. Be very helpful. Now, it is a serious question right now as to whether or not it's better for me to work production or for me to work gold. This thing right here costs 409 gold versus costing 5 turns of production. But I think my gold is just a little bit more efficient because of the hero I have. So I think that's how we're going to play things. Let's go ahead and garrison the stalwarts. Stalwarts, or any unit that are garrisoned in the city, will provide your hero with experience per turn. You can see here he's getting +3 experience rather than the baseline +1. It is a serious system. Oh, right. Let's go ahead and create a new army, and we'll assign Baron to it. We'll parley here, and we'll bribe this faction to join my nation. And by bribing them, they have become a part of my nation, give me an extra pop to work this. It does mean for 5 turns, this guy won't be in charge of the city, but that's okay because we can farm a little bit of experience, and it's a dust eclipse too. So it's the perfect time to take him out of the city to do stuff like this and to farm a little bit of extra XP. The dust eclipse should start in a turn or 2. But now I think the production is better than the gold. Yep, here's the dust eclipse. So basically, you get strange dust activity on temple ruins, you get dust blizzards, you get dust confluxes, which are these things here. So if you pick these up, you will gain experience. So let's walk over here. This ancient ruin thing, if I interact with it, I have a chance of getting money, which is very good when you're playing the Broken Lords. This guy currently has 9 experience. So if I pick up this conflicts, he got 8 experience from it. So very powerful to have your hero walking around during this time of the game. He's leveled up again, but I'm not actually going to level this up until I'm ready to put him back in the city. Every time you spend a skill point on a hero, they get more expensive to maintain. We've unlocked the public library. 2 more techs until we hit the next era. I think it is good to get access to the mercenary market. It's not necessary right now, but it is good to get it. Topography is pretty good. Getting access to those geomic labs is strong. The question is, I think I want the aquapulvistics because of me being a gold-based empire. And I also want the open pit mine, although I don't have a luxury in this area, so I don't need it just yet. Found nothing of interest here, sadly. We did find 3 different confluxes we can search, though, all in a row to gain a bunch of experience. And now we can begin the Museum of Auriga. I'm going to plant it I guess if you're being built there, that's 2 adjacency. It needs to have 4 districts adjacent to it for it to level up. So I think planting it here will do the job. It'll be fine. It'll level up slightly faster if I put it there. So that's what I'll do. As you can see here, my empire is happy, getting me a 15% gold bonus across my empire, which is exactly what we want. And the city is happy, getting a 15% production bonus. So I think these are pretty equivalent. A little bit of a fungal bloom going on over there. The fungal stuff is from another faction. So here are the Delvers, which is a 5% gold bonus per rebuilt city. Now that could be useful. Probably going to look to settle up here to the north first. And speaking of settler, we're probably going to build a settler immediately after the Museum of Auriga. We've encountered the Morgar. And if I remember correctly, these guys can be very annoying to deal with because they can basically put you in a state of easily being targeted by other AIs. They put a black mark on you. Okay, we found 15 wine. I think this is a great opportunity to expend a luxury resource to hit Fervent. And hitting Fervent Empire approval is a 30% gold boost across our empire. And now I'm thinking I want to assign Baron Jocelyn Duval back to the city. And we'll upgrade his skill, Aquatic Dust. So now it says, like, you might think that, oh, it's being upgraded from 1 to 2, but that's actually on top of each other. So it goes from being 1 to 3, and then to 5, in the same way as this goes 1, 2, 3. It's each level applies independently. And so now if I come in here and I pump gold, so if I hard build this, I can build it in 8 turns. If I hard pump gold, I can buy it in possibly 8 turns. So I think hard pumping production right now is the play for the Museum of Auriga. Let's buy another population here to try to shave more turns off this. Production is king. Always remember that. Okay, we've researched Aquapulvistics. The dust eclipse has ended, and we're 1 tech away from heading into the next era. I'm going to go ahead and unlock the mercenary market so that I can A, sell units, and B, buy heroes. Now, I need to simulate my government because what I really need is the tier 2 of both of these, science and industry and economy and population, which means I'm going to need a lot more influence. So unfortunately, I will have to pump influence a little bit here for the next few turns to make sure that I can get, I think it's 120 influence I need by the second thing. I think I'd rather finish the museum first and then I'll pump influence. Finishing the museum should also level up the Baron. Winter has started, which might make my life a little harder, but that's okay. I'm going to pay 113 gold to finish the museum now. So it's guaranteed to finish. I'll spend a little bit of time picking up moon pearls, I think they're called, or winter pearls. Awesome. So we were the first person to construct the Museum of Auriga. No one else can build this now. That's it. So we get that 20% gold, 20% science, and the cost reduction from approval, meaning it's cheaper to upgrade things. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Aquatic Dust, +2 on Terrain with River. Another fantastic thing here. So you can see we're getting a lot of gold from these tiles, and we'll be pushing that further, don't you worry. So next turn I'll know if I have enough influence to do what we need. We're in the Age of Glory. Empire Plan level 2 is available, and Empire Plan level 2 is very important. If I come in here and I simulate this, we can now get the 25% building buyout reduction and 33% building production cost reduction. These two stack. So our buildings will cost 33% less production, which means the buyout cost is reduced, and the buyout cost will be reduced by 25%. And now that we're in the next era, we can research prisoners, slaves, and volunteers, which reduces the building buyout cost by another 25%. So this is why we build things the way we do, because now we're going to be switching from a production economy to a gold economy. I need to make sure that I earn 15 influence between now and turn 38. So two workers on influence should be enough, and I can now start pumping gold, because weirdly enough, this gold will get more valuable in a couple turns. Okay, perfect. Turn 40 is upon us. Empire Plan active. Boom. Boom. Now we're cooking with diesel. So we have to keep in mind, for every city, we need to be generating, to maintain this plan, we need to be generating an average of 6 influence per turn. So I have to keep this guy on influence or find a new way to get more influence. Next turn, the production discount will apply, and it'll be much cheaper to buy things with gold. Looking forward to that, honestly. I'll be able to buy the settler and get my second city up and running. Okay, it's summer in Oregon. Now, some of the pearls that are left over from winter will tend to kind of hang around. Let's go ahead and buy that settler. That will cost us a pop in here, and we can immediately get started on the industrial megapole. I'm going to place that right here. The industrial megapole will reduce the district cost on your empire and give you 25 production per level, which is not completely necessary, but it is super nice. It is super, super, super nice. All right, let's start a new army with the settler, and we'll walk them north to go colonize this area with the Delvers. 5% gold from the Delvers. It ain't much in the early game, admittedly, but it will do a lot over time. Now, we can recruit some heroes. Let's have a look. Bishop Julian here. He has a much weaker dust boost. Ooh, this guy has dust efficiency. So we want someone who can lead our units into battle. Ideally of an infantry class. Army health boost is nice. Yeah, Lord Peyton Quinn would be nice to get for our second city. That dust efficiency is super impressive. But I think I'm going to go for Bishop Julian as a general. We'll recruit him and put him in charge of this city. Of this army, rather. And he can go around gaining experience from doing parlays and quests and bribery. All right, we're going to bribe this minor faction so that they will join our city the second we settle it. +1 pop. Gives the city a little bit of a kickstart. We're definitely going to want luxury extraction here. We've got gold deposit and we've got a spice deposit. And I think the gold deposit, we're going to want to put a luxury resource intensifier on it later, which means we should come back here and grab the open pit mine as soon as we can. Because every time we can activate that gold deposit, our economy goes crazy. All right, we got a dust, again. And now we can step on all these delightful tiles to gain experience on Bishop Julian. All right, we'll pop the settler out of this stack and I'm going to settle right here. The reason I want to settle right here is because it has both river and coast, which is pretty good for generating gold, and it's within range of making a luxury resource intensifier on this later on in the game. So we're going to pop that down there. Welcome to our second city. We're generating 7 influence per average on turn, which means we're totally fine. We want to start thinking about getting a hero assigned to here. After we buy the industrial megapole, I'll probably buy another hero to plug him into Yegg. For now, we're just going to slowly build the mill foundry. That little bit of passive gold really helps out. Really, a little bit of passive production, rather. But yeah, searching ruins is so strong for the Dust Lords. It gets you so much. I think I'm going to make Bishop Julian very much so an explorer type hero, right? Indiana Bones, so he's all about exploring. I will also get Iron Taskmaster, but I'll probably go for the exploration based build first. Those skills increase the chance that you'll actually get something from doing exploration events. I should be able to afford buying the Industrial Megapole next turn. Really hoping. All right, there it is, Industrial Megapole. We finish it. The next thing that we definitely want to do is to probably level that up. So building an altar of Auriga beside it will count as a district towards its level up bonus. And this is a necessary thing for us to have to unlock special winter abilities. So I will start that. And then I will put a borough on the north side of it to get it leveled up. So this will get my museum and my industrial megapole leveled up and my capital leveled up, which will keep our happiness very high. Remember, we want our empire approval to be happy or higher. We never want to dip low. Very much so, the Broken Lord. This game is like most 4X games, it's very snowball heavy, and the Broken Lords are incredibly dependent on that extra gold. Okay, we built the Industrial Megapole. That's 25 production in the capital, and we can level it up when it's surrounded by 4 level 1 districts, if you look at the tooltip on the left there. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to quick buy the Altar of Auriga and the Borough Streets. However, first, we are going to try to recruit. That governor is gone now. So what kind of governors would I like for the city of Yegg? Well, it really depends on the kind of hero that we want to get. These guys here, the Draken guys, they're actually quite good because A, they ignore movement penalties from terrain, and B, they'll get extra experience from collecting pearls. And I believe you can also make bribing cheaper. So quite good at exploring. And then you could just go into sort of this side here for movement and attack and all that sort of stuff. Quite a good explorer unit. I need a governor though. Now, Gula Yawa isn't the greatest governor I could find. However, Dust Boost is not a terrible ability. It's +4 dust per level, which is gold, a little bit of gold from forest terrain, and they can pretty easily get to Inspirational Leader as well as Cold Operator. So I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skill points in the rack Cold Operator, and then we can loop back to fill out Inspirational Leader. I don't think they're an amazing leader, but of what's available to me right now, they're okay. Now, alternatively, oh wow, I hadn't even noticed this person who's even better because they have dust boost and dust efficiency. So they're not an ideal leader by any stretch of the imagination, but the fact that they have dust efficiency and dust boost means every time they level, the city will get a 2% gold boost and their people will get +2 gold and +4 gold per hero level. So I definitely think this is the hero that I'm going to try to buy. I will keep an eye on them. We'll wait a couple turns to accumulate the gold. There's the Altar of Auriga, which gives us access to a very important thing. This thing right here. This will allow us to spend pearls to get unique buildings and abilities. We don't really have enough pearls to interact with that just yet, but when the time comes, it will be very useful. So we're going to grab Skya Keeper, Dabu Ofusu. We'll buy them, and we will put them in charge of this city. whereby they will help the city generate a lot more gold. I'll buy another pop in here to continue to work more gold and gold and gold. And then I'll probably spend a little bit of money building up the basic infrastructure here. In particular, I want that sewer system, the mill foundry, and so on. Thankfully, it looks like winter's about to end. We have finished our research queue. The dust eclipse is over. I will buy the sewer system as well as the mill foundry. I'll buy the Empire Mint, and I will build the gold extractor as well. I can't quite afford that just yet, but kind of just pushing the city to get built up really quickly. Tech-wise, I think we have a few good options. The central market gives another 25 approval on the city, as well as 10% gold when happy, or well, when fervent. So that's definitely the direction we want to go there. We want to keep our cities happy, happy, happy. And I think the second we finish this Borough Street, we are going to want to think about another settler in here to get our third city. And I think we want our third city where this gold is. It'll annoy the Mycaran, but I'm not sweating that. And then we can start to think about the shipyard, as well as integrating another faction, as well as integrating a Delver on turn 60. I think that's kind of like the plan that we're kind of playing with here. Right, perfect. So a bunch of infrastructure finished in the city of Yegg. And whenever you finish infrastructure, your heroes will get experience. Now, something we definitely need to do is to build the 1, 2, 3, 4 garrison units to help level up this hero, because the faster this hero levels, the more gold we'll get. But I'm going to quickly grab the dust dredger, the dust filtrator, and the public library. I'm just going to pump production. I'm going to pump gold into this place to get it up and running, to get it useful as fast as possible, basically. We've met the Mycara, so I need to retreat. That means I'm going to need to unlock diplomacy here, so I can start making friends there. I need to start building military. I think after I finish this settler, I'm going to come here. I'm going to edit my stalwart. They can now be level 2 stalwarts. So I will upgrade their equipment to tier 2, making them all that much stronger. And I'll build a couple of stalwarts to reinforce this army. This army also needs to be retrofit. I'm going to see if I can get this guy to come home, get healed, get leveled, get fixed. Okay, I had a very frustrating thing that happened that only happens in humankind, which is when you try to move a unit, but an enemy unit is allowed to move before you. So I'm going to try it again. Nope. And now I'm not allowed to heal them. Okay, unfortunately I gotta go back a turn, because I just can't move the unit fast enough to get them away. It's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. It's just that would be a run-ending move. But I am gonna follow what I did before, where they attacked me, but I'm gonna retreat. If I was a better player, I would have known I should have done that. It's all right. We do a little trolling of the AI. So coming in here, we're gonna buy the public library and the spice extractor. We're not gonna start building borough streets in here, even though it is a great way to scale up the city. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build the 4 garrisons that we need to fill out this city's garrison slots and get this guy an extra 4 experience per turn. Okay, they're mad I stole some pearls from them, which, is fair enough. So we're doing the garrison draft. A settler has been completed here. I'm going to try to see if we can claim this piece of land. Now, this will piss them off because we're basically stealing place that they've invested resources in expanding on a fungal level. But do I sound like I give a damn? So I think we're safe on Empire plan stuff, right? 240 we need. No, I need to have one person working influence, which is fine. We really need this alchemy workshop. I think I'm going to prioritize it. The fact that it gives 20% science and 15 base science is just super, super powerful. And as a civilization, we really want to get to this dust alchemy and the dust refinery. They're both super important for us. Oh, lovely. The megapole is level 2 now, cranking out 50 production per turn. It's really nice. And the Museum of Auriga is level 2, pumping out 40 happiness per turn. All really good stuff. So in the capital, we're going to get started on the dust filtration, the dust dredger, and the public library. And we're going to quick buy all of those. And we're also going to build our titanium extractors and quick buy those if we can. The Baron has leveled up, so we can go ahead and get Dust Diviner for +1 dust on terrain with dust, continuing to pump up the gold that this city is able to produce thanks to the hero. Nice. All those dust filtration things are finished. And now look at the gold that's being produced in here. It's looking really nice. I'll quick buy that titanium extractor. And now we need to find a good spot for a city in here. I would like to be near this gold extractor so that I could intensify it later. So while this isn't my favorite place to put a city, being able to intensify the gold extractor later is really, really valuable to me. Ooh, I settled the city too soon. Well, that's okay, because we could do the salting of the earth. And what that will do is basically just turn the city back into a settler. But we get to keep the science. Now, these guys are a little bit annoyed that we're pushing up against their territory. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to diplomacy. I'm going to issue them a compliment. Wait a minute, 240? Did I miscount? I think I miscounted. Shit. I can't believe I did that. How did I go wrong on the math? I said 6. It was meant to be 12, wasn't it? I didn't double it. Damn. So we can't afford this. So what I will do is a compromise. Oh, I can't even afford that compromise. Damn, this is a huge tempo loss, but that's reality for you. We'll have to live with that little bit of misfortune. Now, it's been a day since I've played this save file, and I'm trying to think about where exactly I want to settle. Eventually, I will want a luxury intensifier upon this thing. I do think settling here is perfectly reasonable. I think I'm going to settle one tile to the left for the slightly better science per turn, and I think that suits me a little bit better. So we'll pop in right there. We've already done our empire plan, so that's locked in price-wise. We don't need to even worry about that. And now we can start to develop slick. We will go for the mill foundry and the empire mint, the sewer system and the public library. The first thing that we're definitely going to want is the sewer system. And I think the next thing that we're going to save up for is a governor for this city. I would love a guy with an industry and gold boost. If I could get both, that would be awesome. This guy has expansion support. Unfortunately, these aren't very good governors because the only skills that they really get is the fortification skills, the 20% boost, and then the winter immunity. Influence efficiency is quite nice. Science boost, fortification boost could make a very defensive city. Industry efficiency. I think what I'll do is I'll wait a turn. The hero pool should become more diverse next turn when all the exclusive heroes that are around become free to be claimed. All right, we've got a couple alchemy workshops researched, and the central market is next. We've recruited the garrison drafts for Baron Jocelyn, so now they're making 5 experience per turn. I am going to go ahead and make a new army with the stalwarts to go and join up with this hero in the north. I will prioritize the alchemy workshop over the garrison draft. And now let me have a look at the new hero pool. We have an industry boost 1 hero. We have a slavery hero. The problem is these guys are good for generating food. So I don't think the necrophage heroes are particularly good for me. Now we do have an army boost guy. He could be a good leader. He has Auriga affinity. So he collects extra pearls and he gets experience per pearl clusters, as well as the army boost, making his army just straight up stronger, both attack, defense, initiative, and damage. Could be a great leader for an army here. Attempted to recruit him as an army leader, but I have some time to think about that. Science efficiency 3 is nice if I want to make a science city, particularly on a Mazari hero, because they have the extra science on city centers, on districts, and so on. So this could be a really good science city. And I think this is the person I should take. Sometimes you have to make suboptimal decisions with the options available to you, and I think a science boost 3 person is a perfectly reasonable person to assign to a city. At the very least, they will be able to make it up to inspirational leader and cold operator eventually, but we'll focus on the alchemical gains. I will spend money to get the sewer system faster. Skia Keeper Dabua Ofuso has leveled up. Now, she's not going to be particularly useful, for her actual skills here until we get her up to Inspirational Leader and Cold Operator, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4 more levels, and then she'll be actually very useful for this city. There isn't that much forest terrain, so the other skills won't benefit so much, but I think rushing down this end of the tree is perfectly reasonable. Yeah. Not a great governor, but thanks to the dust boost and the dust efficiency, still worth a lot of cash in here. Oh yeah, I need to switch back to producing gold in my cities. All right, let's simulate our empire plan. So we're going to need 360 influence by the time of the next empire plan. So let's go ahead and assimilate the delvers for the 5% gold boost. It's not a huge amount, but it does help. So 360 minus 39 divided by 19 means we need to average at least 17 influence per turn, which means every single one of these cities needs to be working at least 1 person on this influence thing. We're also going to want to look for another settler around about that time, and whether or not we want to go to war with this character. Now, they have a decent military compared to us, so we are gonna need to research meritocratic promotion. I'd also like a dust bishop. I think that'd be a pretty good unit. So I think I'm gonna research dust bishops and meritocratic promotion. This will be a useful unit that has the ability to exhaust enemy units, and meritocratic promotion allows you to have bigger armies. I'm kind of pushing that direction. Okay, we got a new quest here. We're going to garrison 2 Delver units in our capital city and produce 193 dust per turn for 5 turns. This will get me the Band of Merriment, which is plus 15 happiness on cities. Okay, that's actually really powerful. So I'm going to start a new Dredge unit, and it will be called Dredge Draft, and its entire purpose is to just be really, really cheap. And I'm going to give it the 2-handed hammer. It is ever so slightly more expensive, but I think it's just a better weapon. The ability to stun people is quite powerful. So I'll cancel these 2 garrison drafts, and I'll make a couple of Dredge drafts. As for the actual unit, I believe we have a quest Yeah, we come back to search this room with a Delver's unit. So I think we need to recruit a Delver here. I will get a regular dredge to add to the recruitment pool so that I can kind of get that out there to add to this army. I'm going to be spending my gold on getting the city of Sleek up and running. So primarily I'll spend my gold on getting population, and then I'll spend it next turn on getting these buildings. I'm going to send one stalwart into this army, and then I'll send the other one to garrison Slick for now, because I actually want a Delver unit to join this army. I'll go ahead and just set you to garrison. I'm going to use my mill foundry, or rather use my gold to finish the mill foundry in the Empire Mint. Okay, happiness is positive on my empire, which is where we want to keep it. We're about to get the central market, so we'll be able to buff up Yeg and Sleek. Perfect, there's the central market. A bunch of buildings have been finished here, and it looks like somebody else has made it to the next era. Now, how far away from the next era are we? We definitely want to try to get there, because it would be really nice to build the Alchemical Institute. So we'll see if we can push that forward a little bit by focusing on increasing science. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the public library and then get to work on the alchemical workshop first. We want the central market in this city before anything else gets done, and similarly we actually want the central market done in here before even the alchemical workshop, because that percentage bonus really helps out, and also keeping the happiness really high is super important to me. Okay, this does not affect our empire because we don't harvest food. We harvest exclusively dust. Let's buy the central market in here, and then we'll do the same in this city over here on the next turn. Bishop Julian II has gained enough experience to reach level 3. Bishop Julian is in charge of the army. I'm going to go ahead and take no idle hands, with the idea being here that he actually benefits from that himself. So by taking these skills, not only will he level his own units up faster, he will actually level himself up faster, and that will make this entire army stack just be more powerful over a given period of time. Let's take this dredge unit and send it to go meet my main marauding army. I'm also going to come... Oh, I don't have access to the resource stockpiles yet. We really need that tech. We'll get it, but it'll take a while. We also need this glory to the empire thing, and I think that's actually more important because that plus 5 influence per city will allow us to potentially push up towards higher tier empire plans. It's going to be really important in the long term. Okay, an Urkan has emerged. These are kind of interesting. He's dismissive of me because of the strength of its armies. That tells me I need to potentially look into recruiting this army boost guy. See, I'll probably buy him next turn and start recruiting him an army as well. Although first I'm going to get the central market because it is central to my game plan. We've unlocked the shipyard, which means we now have the capability. We disposed of an enemy fungal bloom as well. And we met Kuru, the AI. We're going to start negotiation with them. Have I learned diplomacy yet? Oh, goodness, I need to learn diplomacy. So many techs in this era are feel very necessary for your build. I'm going to go ahead and give him Baron Jocelyn Deval the Tome of Glasssteel. That will allow him to give all of the units in his army extra combat, or rather, all the people in his city will get +1 gold when working gold. Something that's interesting, though, I find is, let's say you compare this helm of Glasssteel, right, to the regular helm. Okay, 6 health. That's not very good. But if you compare the helm of Glasssteel to even just a tier 2 thing, this has so much more health and attack on it and stuff like that. And it's pretty much like that across the board. Basic tier 2 equipment, in my opinion, is almost always better. And so I'm going to equip this guy with better equipment, and that will give us +1 gold per pop from that accessory in here. Commander Erxjo Lazmak has leveled up. I think I'm going to work on Alchemical Genius first. That +2 science on city centers will help scale up this city's science capabilities by a lot over time. We've got 20 pearls, and so we can start thinking about the kind of things that we want to research in the Altar of Auriga. I do think the Nyctalopian lenses are good because of that 10% science on your cities. A 10% science boost on my capital for 10 pearls is probably not a bad move. The central market isn't completely necessary right now. However, that 10% gold boost would be lovely. So we'll kind of start working on that direction. We can also definitely expand this city from a borough point of view. But I want to recruit another hero before I start spending gold on rushing things. I need another army on the field to project power and keep me safe. Now, I don't know whose quest this is, but I don't like these units wandering around. The problem is Telsem warriors, I believe, are very strong. Very, very strong. So I don't even know if we can take them on without upgrading our units and potentially having some dust bishops in here. Okay, I'm going to recruit Rabos Rockstriker High Ridge II as a general of my armies. I'm going to create a new army with this stalwart over here, and I'll put them in charge of it next turn. I misclicked and put the army back in the city. So he's a little bit upset that I destroyed a fungal bloom, but the fungal bloom is like in our territory. Let's have a look at the diplomacy. So he's leery of me. He doesn't like that I've colonized nearby regions and I disposed of a fungal bloom. Otherwise, people are relatively dismissive of me, which is fairly ideal so that I can build up my economy, build up my army, and prepare. Right, let's start this new army. And we will assign the hero Rabos Rockstriker to it. And in the short term, your job is going to be to dispose of these fungal blooms. But when a winter or a dust thing comes, your job will be explicitly to go explore and collect those things. Okay, let's go ahead and finish the alchemy workshop in here for that 15 science. It's a nice boost. I will get an alchemy workshop in the city of Yeg as well. We can start pumping that science to get to the next era. Okay, we finished researching the glory of Empire, and we're now working on the Dust Bishop. We got the Night-Collapsing Lenses, the Garrison Draft, and the Alchemy Workshop. Let's keep pumping up the stuff in here. The Glory of Empire is an incredibly important pickup here across all 3 of my cities, because the influence is going to allow me to continue to expand and maintain my empire plans. And in particular, it's going to allow me to run empire plans in the next era. Now, at some point, we're going to need a settler. Let's have a look. How much does it cost to buy a settler? 567 gold. So we can crank a settler out pretty quick. Now, we had a quest here to explore this with a delver. So that got me the Valiant Lightning item, which is a very, very powerful thing, which I could probably equip to Rabos here. Yeah, this quest item is like, if we even compare this to a tier 2 crossbow, or let's go with the tier 2 iron longbow, right? 18 attack, 10 damage. Whereas this is like 36 attack, 2 initiative, 18 damage, 60% bonus attack, 10% bonus initiative, 30% bonus damage. This is incredibly powerful. It literally doubled his attack, and I think it doubled his damage. No, it gave him like 50% more damage. So just all around really incredible. This guy is a combat unit, so we are going to go ahead and upgrade his equipment. And we're going to give him the titanium insignia to give him that plus 1 army damage boost, which will give 4 damage to the army and a 5% damage boost to his army. And that's quite a bit of extra damage. You know, if you take this off, it's going to mean the total operational capacity of his army is a lot higher, and it's going to cost me only a little bit of gold to make this guy quite a lot more powerful. Winter has started, so 50% reduced movement speed, 1 less industry, food, and dust on all terrain, and less health regen. So a black spot curse has been put on me, which means that any other empire can enter my empire and eliminate my units for dust without constraints or penalties. This is really bad for me, but at least I have Rabos Rockstriker over here who can go explore. So he's got 5 experience right now, and he's getting 2 per turn. We'll need to, and he can go ahead and collect all these pearls for me. I'm going to retrofit these units to make them more powerful. So they have been upgraded to their next tier. Bishop Julian is also going to want to get his equipment upgraded. I think I have the money and stuff for that. I'm going to give him a long spear and tier 2 armor with improved movement and the army damage boost to make his army more efficient as well in combat. Ooh, I need to watch out. I think the fungal people are coming to hunt me down. I saw an army over here, so I'm going to kind of run away with Rabos Rockstriker because he is not built for combat right now. His army is very, very vulnerable. I'll pop into Yeg though. I can't quite afford some of these things, but we will soon. Right, food production has gone back to normal. We just researched the Dust Bishop and we're working on making our armies bigger. We finished the central market in Undand, and now we can work on the Glory of Empire. Now that was in my capital. My capital has plenty of sort of base production to do its own thing. Baron Jocelyn Deval has leveled up as well. And I think it's time that I worked my way up to Dust Trickery. So it'll be 2 more levels before he can do that. I'm going to take these 2 garrison draftees and send them up over to Yeg. It'll take a while to get there. And then I'll start the recruitment of 2 dust bishops in this city. Now I have enough gold to boost the alchemical workshop, which will be a nice science boost here. 6 turns until the next empire plan, so I got to save cash for a settler. Although, unfortunately, the urkans have kind of settled near my territory, which is a mixed curse, for lack of a better term. It's a mixed curse. We've met the Bose. That gives you 5% food per pacified village, and they are a cavalry unit. None of those things really excite me. We found 5 Palladian in that place. We're going to go ahead and, you know, I think I might settle down here, so I'm probably going to bribe the Bose in preparation for a settler. Let's jump into the water. We need to get down to this, because this is our factional quest. We do have other quests that we can do. I need to colonize Endigir, and I need to produce 193 dust in my capital. And that might be a little bit more easy when we get to the next era, things like the dust refinery. Perfect. We've unlocked meritocratic promotion, which will give us +2 army slots and +2 garrison slots on our empire. It will make our military more expensive to maintain, but we also get an accessory slot on our units, meaning we can have more accessories. Capital built, the influence thing. Summer has returned. Now, I'm unlikely to hit Empire Plan level 3 before the next era, so I'm not sweating it about that. Okay, so Skia Keeper has leveled up. I'm going to go ahead and grab the +1 gold per pop. Per worker on the city. And I will do the same for Commander Urgsko as well. I'm going to take Fast Healer for a few reasons. The first reason is it will lead to Defender, giving the city more fortification strength, and then it will lead to Inspirational Leader as well as Cold Operator. The second reason I'm going to take that on this leader is because it will also lead to No Idle Hands, which will eventually allow me to level this hero up even faster. And this hero scales really nicely on level. Every level this hero gets, this city gets a 2% gold boost, which is not much, but it is a decent amount. I believe the 16 point, this hero is level 3, and I think capacity is referring to Skia Keeper's ability to generate gold, because we're getting a flat amount of dust per hero's level and a scaling dust bonus. So the combination of the two is leading to about a 15% dust boost in this city right now. Not a huge amount at the moment, but it will get stronger over time. All right, let's create a new settler. And I'm scared to send this settler out when there is this Mycara unit over here. However, I don't think I have a particularly good settlement location for this settler just yet. So I'll hit up this first. So escort a broken lords, release 3 infantry units to inspect the temple ruins. We get 15 die for that. We have to gather 80 dust and try the portal once again. So we can do that immediately. And now we got to defeat the army that's protecting the ruins. It should be a single drider. We can just auto on offensive. Should be a fairly simple, straightforward kill. And we have unearthed an endless artifact. So we get archaeologist. We get a 20% cost reduction for Era 1 technologies on our empire. Quite nice. And our goal is to research 8 technologies from Era 1, and we'll get some grass silk for that. Awesome. Then we can explore this one more time, and we get 50 dust for it. Then I want you to get into the water and explore this island over here. But for now, I will send this settler down. And if I have to, I will settle this city over here. I don't think this is a particularly good city, but I will settle it. It depends on how good this island is here. It's a fine city. It'll do the job. Now, I'm going to use my gold now to grow the capital back up, in particular because I would like to build another borough in here. Because there's 14 gold that I can claim by building this borough on this weird little anomaly thing. Bishop Julian has leveled up, and he's the guy that's leading this army around the world, if I remember correctly. Yes, so I'm going to focus on getting no idle hands on him to continue to get him to level up, as well as his troops to level up. He's getting 7 experience per turn, which means roughly every 10 turns he gets 70, which means roughly every 20 turns. He should be looking at a level every 20 turns right now at current pace. Perfect. We've reached a new era. Iron tier 3 weapons and armor available. Newly trained units will now be level 3 and cost more. Luxury resources have been revealed. Blood leaf, blood crystal, grass silk, moon leaf, quicksilver, and titan bones. We've also got access to adamantian and palladian, and we can go to Empire Plan level 3. We've also got legendary deeds of the era. So we finished Imperial coinage, and we're working on Diplomat's Mats. The game has recognized that we have researched 8 technologies of Era 1 and given us grass silk. And if we research 2 more technologies of Era 1, we'll get an unknown reward. And it looks like the Mycara have tamed the urkan fakir. So the very first thing that we want to do here is, as much as I want the Diplomat's Mats, we really need to research the dust refinery, as well as the dust alchemy technology. And then we'll finish the Diplomat's Mats. And then I'll probably come back to the early eras to grab some technologies. I do think I need 2 more basically, and military science is useful to increase the militia defensiveness of my cities, and I will also go ahead and unlock topography here for that extra little bit of a science boost. So we have to do our empire plan. We do have a little bit of extra influence that we can spend to make, we can't quite afford cheaper units, but that's fine. This is the mandatory empire development plan that we need. We cannot have any less than that. I'm going to go ahead and boost the glory of empire in the city of Yeg. That'll allow me to pull another person back onto just gold. I'm going to temporarily settle this city, but I have little to no confidence in its long-term viability. For now, though, it will do. Okay, we've discovered a bunch of Palladian and Adamantian, which is good news. We discovered Titan Bones, which is a great booster if I remember correctly. Oh, we actually have a district on top of the Titan Bones. And Titan Bones gives you a 50% production boost. Speaking of boosts, I can't afford to do the gold boost right now. and I can afford to do spices. So I'm just going to do both to make my empire approval ideally hit fervent, or at least close to fervent. And this minus 50% on city upkeep is actually super helpful. We are only producing one of these per turn. We would like to see more of that. Let's go ahead and garrison these units into Yegg to get Skja Keeper more experience. We definitely need two more garrison drafts for this city to get the experience of this unit to maximum. We need to get up to these bonuses really quickly. And also, the faster that hero levels, the better. Capturing a Mycara, I don't really understand how these urkans work, and I'm not too worried about it. We're just going to focus on developing our empire, and then eventually we will attack the Mycaran Empire. That is, unless they want to engage in diplomacy. So somebody has stolen technology from us, and the spy was partially wounded. So we need to start thinking about infiltration and stopping enemy units from getting into our secrets. I'm going to build the Nyctalopian lenses in the city of Sleek, and I'm going to gold purchase the Glory of Empire. It's time to start finishing some of these constructions. Ooh, -2 on terrain with dust is painful. Feels particularly targeted. Okay, garrisoned 2 Delver units in my capital, and they produce 193 dust per turn. And now we have the Band of Merriment, which we're going to equip to all of our governors. Speaking of governors, we need to look and see if there's another one around that we would maybe like. Food boost is no use to us. I believe that my Karen units are not particularly good because they also provide food. They are decent roaming armies. Dust boost and influence boost on one of these forgotten heroes isn't the worst. Like, again, I will make it very clear. I really don't want to be using these forgotten guys as my things, but influence boost is actually pretty good, as is dust boost. But I'm going to wait 3 turns and then look at the hero market again to see if any new heroes appear. I'm also going to go ahead and sell off some of this titanium. We don't need this much stacked up. It looks like someone has been selling gold at the market as well. So I'm going to take some time to buy more gold because this is the one that lowers the city upkeep, which is super useful for me to have a lot of gold. Okay, we're going to go ahead and upgrade our stalwarts to tier 3 equipment. That'll make them quite a bit more efficient. That'll make them a lot more expensive, but it will make them a lot more efficient. Similarly, we're going to upgrade our dredges to equip the tier 3 equipment. Exhaustion is a fantastic ability. It lowers the enemy's defense, meaning your units are more likely to do high damage. Because the way the combat works is you basically compare the stats. I'm going to make these dust bishops nice and supportive. They do have ranged attacks, which is fantastic. And we want to give them the improved movement 3, so they zip around at a high speed. Movement speed is incredibly important to me on my units. Now, we just unlocked the Band of Merriment. So I'm going to have a look at my heroes to see if I can equip that. There you go. Quest item, 44 equipment cost for a 15% happiness boost in this city. I have never been more happy to spend 44 gold on anything. So now all 3 of my cities should be fervent, and that will confer across my empire 30% gold and science boost, which is fantastic. Now, something I need to think about is my next empire plan, and it wants to look something like this. We want that +2 science on districts, and we want that +25 happiness on cities. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of maths here. If I need 1,080 influence, and I have 125 in the bank, that means I need 955 influence by the time of the next empire plan. I've got 17 turns, so I gotta divide that by 17, and that means I need to make 56 influence per turn, on average, which might not be viable without public works, stuff like this. But I don't even have the ability to extract the resources to build these buildings yet. So we might be looking at some issues. So we can get up to 56, but it requires us to set a decent number of our population working on this stuff. I think pumping gold into the new city of over here will get us a good return on our investment quickly to make that more viable. We finished the mill foundry in Weichsel. We're going to start just pumping money in here. Buy another population, empire mint, public library, sewer system. We'll go for the central market. We'll also go for the Glory of Empire. Try to get the city to go above and beyond. We have another Volter science booster. It's really good. I think I might save up to acquire cheap Sapphire. All the gold boosting guys just aren't available for me. And there is a dust boosting forgotten here, but it's like, definitely don't want that. All right, this is huge. We just got our dust refinery. Finished a bunch of stuff in Weichsel, and the dust eclipse has come. So this could be a good opportunity for us to generate a decent amount of dust. Also, someone did steal dust from us, but we're immediately going to getting the dust refinery in the capital to the detriment of literally anything else. It's the most important thing that we could potentially get finished here. So these guys want to get a piece of research to remove the black spot. I'm going to go ahead and accept this. They're dismissive of me because of the strength of their navy, but I'm dismissive of them because of the strength of my army. So at this point in the game, actually, this guy here, Rabos Rock Striker, is more important to my empire than other ones. I think the most important thing to pick up here is Agile Mover, so he can move his army around faster. So he has actually superseded Bishop Julian as my main warrior. So I'll be fully filling out his stack. What's he got? 2 stalwarts, 2 dust bishops. I'll give him 2 more stalwarts. And so now this guy is earning 7 experience per turn. He has a very high speed army. We do need to do some retrofitting, but not until we get the dust refineries online. Let's go ahead and search this. There's 130 dust, perfect. That'll allow me to get this dust refinery going. Boom. I'm going to come to this city and get these 2 glass steel extractors online. I'm going to use my gold to get these glass steel extractors online because in order to build the dust refinery, we need 10 glass steel. I'm also going to pop up here and sell off even more of titanium because it's glass steel that we need. I'll also build a glass steel deposit down here and quick purchase it. Okay, we got a bunch of glass steel extractors done. We're going to come up to Yeg here and grab ourselves another dust refinery. Incredibly important that we get this thing online. Commander Joe Lasmak has leveled up. I do think it's a question of, do we continue to push for this science boost or do we move up to the inspirational leader? And I think the inspirational leader will be better if we can rush up to it. All right, we'll grab this Swift Conflux with our new general, the Rock Striker. Okay, we built the Borough Streets in Undand. Yeah, somebody is stealing my gold, which I am, decidedly not happy about. Found some dust, and then we'll pick up that Conflux here. This guy will pick up this dust too, which means I should have the gold available to finish the dust refinery in here, pumping the gold up to another level, and we can start doing a similar sort of thing in all of my cities, really. That's the goal anyway. We finished researching dust alchemy, which is incredibly important. Again, more demand on glass steel, but look at that. +4 dust per pop, that's working dust, and +10 dust on terrain with dust. The +10 dust on terrain with dust is absolutely going to be built in the capital. This is a insane amount of dust production in here, and it's absolutely what we're going to be working on. Another hero has leveled up. This is the leader that I want to push all the way up to the cold operator and get the inspirational leader. Excellent. They have really nice dust efficiency. If I go on and check the city now, hero capacities were 22 gold. Their upkeep is costing me 21 gold. But don't forget, they're also giving all of the pops here +3 gold. So the full effect of this hero is not completely felt. So we don't actually have to destroy the fungal blooms of the Mycara. We can choose to coexist with them. And that's probably a reasonable proposition. Now, they might be a little bit leery because I have blown up a fungal bloom, but it's good to just let them know. Let them know that I'm willing to do it. I'll blow up your blooms. Okay, the effects of the gold booster have finished. I'm going to go ahead and reactivate that to make sure that I'm continuing benefit from the extremely high gold reduction on my city upkeep that provides. I am curious about the potential for accessories made of pearls, considering I've seen some accessories that are pretty darn good. Okay, what's this? A retaliation boost. The hero does 10% extra retaliation. Okay. Ooh, Auriga Affinity allows you to get experience when you're collecting pearls. Ice Walker. Rivers and ice shelves are easier to walk across in winter. And Retaliation Reflector allows you to reduce the retaliation damage you're receiving. Not the most amazing things. I was kind of hoping for a little bit better than that. The retaliation booster at least does make the things that you can unlock here, like this tower here, the Tower of Truth, has to be built on Watchtower foundations, but it gives you +2 vision and 10 fortification, as well as +3 retaliation damage per fortification. So it'd be 30 retaliation damage. And then the Tower of Fidelity is a 20 fortification building that does 0.5 retaliation damage per fortification. And so that'd be 3 retaliation damage. This would do 10. Now, I don't know how good retaliation damage is, so that's not going to be something that I build around, but that was an exploratory purchase. Something far more interesting to me is the Iceworks. It gives you +10 production on terrains with river and +10 production on Seer Lake during the winter. Also, the Chapel of Auriga is quite good because it doubles the amount of population you get from pacified villages, so I think I'll probably unlock that with the goal of building those across my empire eventually. Dust production returns to normal. I'm happy to hear. We're going to pop in here and buy the Dust Transmuter, which is +10 on terrain with dust. You can only build that once. And then we're going to get to work on the Dust Depository so we can maximize the total amount of dust being produced in my capital. I'm going to take workers off of influence in here. I'm going to recalculate my influence requirements. So I need to be producing at least 55 influence per turn. So I'll concentrate my gold production in the capital and move the influence production to sort of side cities. My general's leveled up again. I'm going to take that +1 movement. Movement, incredibly useful. It lets you do more with your armies, so that's why I like it so much. I definitely need to get the security of my city up. Spies are constantly assaulting it, which is quite annoying, as you might imagine. We're going to go ahead and finish the dust depository this turn, which will allow us to increase the dust production from population by 40%. Baron Jocelyn has also leveled up. Let's have a look at the skill tree. Yep, we're one step away from being able to pick up dust trickery. Very excited for that. Let's go ahead and purchase the Glory of Empire in the city of Weichsel, and we'll also grab the central market. So I'm hoping to see a huge jump in our gold per turn. I'm hoping to get close to 1,000 gold per turn. That'd be nice over the, probably up in the run up to turn 100. We now have Diplomats Mance. Now, diplomacy does cost influence, so I don't want to play around with influence right now. But we have finished things like the Nyctalopian lenses in Sleek. I am a big fan of cultist leaders if they have either influence, if they have the influence boost. This guy's more of an army leader. I like these guys because you can have Impassioned Preacher, which basically is +3 gold per pop on the city. And then they have up here 15, sort of 45% gold here, another 20% gold here. They've also got influence. They're really, really good for an influence generation city. And trying to think about that, the new city of Weichsel could be a good influence city. It's not the greatest influence city, but we are going to need a city specialized towards influence. So I am tempted by the idea of getting a cultist hero. I could eventually replace them later. Ooh, Dust Efficiency 3 is kind of intriguing. Yep, the problem is this hero ability doesn't do a lot for the city. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to recruit the cultist leader and put them in charge of Weichsel. And this city will be specialized towards influence production. Let me make sure I give them the quest item for the 15 approval to keep our cities nice and happy. We want to keep that fervent approval. And I'm going to start production on another settler in the capital. Capital's the best place to build those because it has the best production. That way I don't have to pump gold into it. Sleek has finished its construction queue. I want to keep my approval up at fervent, so I don't want to build any boroughs at the moment. I'll get to work on a dust refinery. Would love to settle this region here. It's another stepping stone of kind of controlling a nice bracket of land. The dust eclipse has ended, and there's a new empire planned soon. Let's bribe this army, so we have control, and let's start bringing the pops of our cities up in line with our capital. Our capital has 7 pops, so, well, 6. So we'll try to start bringing all of our cities up to 6 pops here. We finished researching topography, which is a tier 1 technology, an era 1 technology, and we're working on military science next. Weichsel finished the emerald extractor, and I'm being hit with a production reduction in my capital by the Kuru. So we will have to deal with the Kuru. I don't really have a way to strike back at the moment until I can get Baron Jocelyn Deval III to get the face reader ability, but that'll take a very long time. Until then, we'll just have to deal with the fact that the infiltration action will continue to lower our production in here. Although, again, production loss, not that big of a deal. Mostly because I'm playing the Broken Lords. I am a little bit worried about this army stack. I need to retrofit this army, but I don't want to do that yet. Now, I'm trying to remember which of my cities was the science city. Okay, it was this one over here. I'm going to put a bracket S in Sleek's name so that I know that this is a science city. Hopefully, I will not forget that. Because eventually we're going to want to do the Center for Mineralogy here and specialize this city towards science production, because I'm pretty sure you're quite good at that. Now, I would love to normalize diplomacy with the Mycara. We'll kind of look into that, I think, after the next Empire plan. There could be trade routes available there. All right, I'm going to buy Genomic Labs in the capital. I'm going to buy Genomic Labs in Yeg, and I'll buy Genomic Labs here, and I'll buy the Dust Refinery. Then I'll get to work on 6 garrison drafts to give this city the ability to provide more experience to Commander Urksjo. We're making about 1,000 science per turn now. Okay, let's finish the dust filtration, the alchemy workshop. We'll get started on the dust refinery. We'll finish that too, and then we'll slowly work on a dust depository. We finished researching military science, which will give us a nice defensive boost. We finished a settler as well, and we've completed our baser nature. So we have access to the quivering circlet, which gives you +7 production, +7 dust, and +7 science on a city. And it can only be equipped by Broken Lords heroes. So that was our faction quest. We need to colonize in a new region, settling an area providing at least 13 dust. And this will give us access to the Penitent Chapel, which will give us 1% Broken Lords unit regeneration per pacified village on Broken Lords. That's actually super powerful. Faction quest. Production has been decreased again. Kuru AI. Need to figure out how to hunt those down. All right, we'll start a new settler. And we'll look for a place with at least 13. It's 13 food. And then we can start looking into what we actually want to research for Era 3. We were kind of forced to do all this weird like back research. We also haven't gotten any of our production stuff. Science is important for us, as is influence. But I think most important here is getting access to the smelting station. So we can actually collect the reaping station. So we can actually collect the higher tier resources like palladium and adamantium, as well as all these luxuries. Because we haven't even built the pragmatic scientist thing, and we really want to build that. It's worth a lot of science. Okay, we'll give this guy the quivering circlet because it's a very small boost to the city for a small amount of gold. It pays itself off very, very quickly. It could also be worth it for us to recruit Baron Jocelyn Deval. Let's have a look. Are there rivers in this area? There are not rivers in here, but if I have a look at the terrain, there's some gold. We could push up this center line and go for an inspirational leader Broken Lords person. Yeah, I think I'm going to recruit those, put it in the new city that I'm about to found as a governor. Oh, apparently the Kuru have been defeated, meaning I don't need to worry about their bullshit anymore. Cool. I'm pretty happy about that because they were spying on me pretty excessively, I would add. I think it was an excessive amount of spying they were doing. We've got a new empire plan next turn. I think we're going to clear the requirements. So let's get the empire plan done first. And we want it to look like this. We want that 25% happiness because that means we can start building districts, and also means we don't have to deal quite so much with negative. We can keep fervent. And this +2 science on districts is going to be super useful. So that won't kick in until next turn. And now we can actually settle the city. I think it said at least 13 gold. I don't know if I can do 13 gold as they requested, but I can do 9. And they'll just have to make do with 9. All right, let's assign Baron Jocelyn Deval. And now they do have a dead skill point, but that's fine. We can actually make use of it to try and rush to Inspirational Leader, and then Cold Operator, and then grab Dust Trickery. We can kind of push up this way and then backfill. Now, speaking of the Baron, we have 2 quest accessories we want to give them. 15% happiness, 777. And then there was another one, +1 gold per pop on the city. Plug that in there nice and happily. Beautiful thing about playing these guys is they're really fun. The unfortunate thing about playing these guys is gold is everything. Every decision you make when you're playing the Broken Lords completely revolves around how much gold you have. Okay, we got the sewer system in Amidvar. Our empire is ideally fervent, if I can get that to refresh. Annoyingly, it did not refresh. So let's focus on developing out Yegg. We need another draft unit in Yegg, so I'm going to buy that. And I finally feel safe to build a borough street in this city because we have an excess of happiness. Now, every borough street you build costs you 10 happiness. Now, if you can level it up, it will refund you that 10 happiness and give you +5. But you kind of have to do that very carefully. So I'm going to focus on developing Yegg a little bit, just a smidge. Okay, amazing. We've developed the ability to smelt and extract certain resources. So I'm going to pop into Yegg here. I want the Palladian and Adamantian extractors if I can get them. The city's at 95% happiness with a single borough, so I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to push my luck any further. We'll get those extractors online, and basically nothing else needs to be done in here. So what we can do is actually sell or move one of these garrison drafts, and that way we can leave a single slot open to produce military. And by producing military, we can either, send them off to garrison other cities, or we can use them to, we can actually sell them on the open market. Click here, you see you can sell units, and depending on their quality, they will fetch a different price. So Bishop Julian has leveled up again. I'm going to take no idle hands, so he gets plus another little bit of experience. He is leveling at +5 experience per turn, which is quite slowly. It will speed up once we actually get him military units in his army, which in theory is the plan in the capital. Let's grab the Palladian extractor in the capital. We're going to prioritize that. Getting those resource extractions, very, very important. These resources can be sold. They can be used for economy. I find it hard to overstate how useful these are. That's what the majority of my gold over the next couple turns will be used on. We've been attacked by these guys. I'm going to go ahead and retreat. We will take a little bit of damage, but we can fall back to our territory, grab a retrofit, and then grab a heal next turn, and then look for a counterattack. Skya Keeper has leveled up, so we can go ahead and grab Inspirational Leader. That'll be a 5% yield boost across the board with the exception of Influence. And don't forget, every time that hero levels up, they start to produce a little bit of extra from capacity. +9 from hero skill, very nice. Yegg has completed its construction queue, and it has no more things that I can actually build. So what am I going to do in Yegg? Well, the answer is very simple. I'm going to produce stalwarts and dust bishops to fill out my armies that I can sell on the market or use to produce more military. It's a very small trickle of production. I kind of wish there was the ability to convert it into something else. There is through the idea of stockpiles that we haven't actually unlocked yet. The Morgwar have been defeated as well. It's kind of scary. Palladian extractor done in Undanned. We have the gold now to heal this stack. And if we are the ones to attack, I think we have a slightly better chance. Okay, we lost a single stalwart, but we completely wiped his entire stack. And I got a level up on this guy. We got 26 experience. So I would call that a pretty good trade on my end, losing a single stalwart. I'm going to grab Pathfinder to ignore movement penalties from difficult terrain, as this army is becoming even more mobile. All right, I'll grab this Palladian extractor, and I'll probably buy another Palladian extractor over here in a moment. Let's buy the Adamantian extractor here. Do we have any more extractors? We do have another Adamantian extractor. We have a little bit of money left over, so I'm going to pump the population into Amavar. So I think something really important to me is to actually develop the city of Wyxul's garrisons. Getting Edra the Listener leveled up is very, very important. This is going to be where the majority of my influence comes from. Now, unfortunately, they already have a level that's put into Strength of the Wilds. This hero will help defend the city at the very least. So it's not completely pointless to have that, but it just isn't ideal. It's a wasted skill point that'll make it harder for me to level the hero up. I mean, I'll still be able to level the hero. It's going to be a little bit slower. We've unlocked reaping stations, which is going to allow us to extract the next tier of luxury resources. We can pop in here. A bunch of stuff has been finished. We've got effectively 2 technologies until we pump into the next era. Now, one thing that I would really like is statistical methods. I think this would be a really powerful science boost in my capital. That's +3 science on the city center, on districts, and +3 per pop. More important is that district and city. Fluid biomechanics is also really useful. We really want public works for the influence, and I think that's going to be what we kind of work towards next. And we also want bread and circuses to reduce the expansion disapproval in our cities. So, yeah, bread and circuses, public works, and then we'll kind of see where we stand. I will probably grab these 2 science boosting things next. But yeah, if you look at our cities, our expansional disapproval is at 40%, and you get +10 for every city you settle. So by getting a 20% discount or a 20% reduction, that's effectively a +10 happiness approval boost across our empire, which is, I would say, on par with some of the buildings. And remember, we're planning to settle another city on turn 120. We got to keep the pace going. So I don't need the dust depository so much. I will go ahead and buy out the garrison drafts, as many of them as I can in this city, because I want Edra the Listener to level. I'm going to take Impassioned Preacher, which will get us +1 influence per pop working influence on this city. Are you fucking joking me? Ozek the Chosen just became available, and he has influence boost 3. Okay, I'm going to be retiring this hero, Edra the Listener, next turn and recruiting the other one. Winter has come, which will cause us a lot of problems. So the first things first is Edra the Listener. I'm going to unassign this hero, return them to the academy. I will buy Ozek the Chosen. Boom. I will come to my academy. Edra the Listener is going to be sold. Ozek the Chosen will be put in charge of this city, and they have the incredible influence boost. So +3 influence per hero's level and +1% influence per hero's level. So really, really damn good. And they're going to level so fast, and they already have the Impassioned Preacher ability. Now, I do think influence efficiency would be better long term, but influence boost, in my opinion, is still of a reasonable level. It's still okay. Not as good as influence efficiency, but influence boost is fine. But yeah, the influence in this city will start to skyrocket and make it so much easier for us to manage our empire. And thankfully, winter has come, because it's going to give us an opportunity to potentially look to pick up some really nice anomaly boosts from the Altar of Auriga. Okay, Amavar is my newest city, and that means it needs to have the most cash injected into it. So I'm going to focus a little bit of cash injection in here. And I'm also going to focus pretty heavily on picking up pearls with my armies. Now, Rabo's Rock Striker actually gets experience from picking up pearls. Not a huge amount. I think it's literally like a single point of experience. But even so, 1 is more than 0. Ozek the Chosen wants some improvements. Oh, I don't have any gold this turn. Okay, I guess I could sell some titanium. No, we'll do that next turn. I definitely want to get to 15 adamantium. So I'm wondering if I could sell a little bit of my other resources. I don't generate any dye, so I could in theory sell off all my dye. I also don't generate any wine, so I'll sell that. I do make Titan bones, so I want to keep those around. I don't make any moon leaf, so I'll sell my moon leaf. And I don't make any grass silk, so I'll sell that off. And that should get me the money I need to pop in here with Ozek the Chosen and get that +1 gold per unit boost and the 15% happiness boost. Excellent. I pumped a bit of gold into Amenvar as well. All my cities are 6 population. So we should start to see the return on our investments pretty soon. We're making 100 influence per turn. Looking good. I'll simulate my influence needs in a bit. Baron Jocelyn de Val has leveled up. We could replace him with Duke Unwin Weybridge, who has the Dust Boost 3 as opposed to Dust Efficiency 2. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to unassign this hero, and I will recruit Duke Unwin Weybridge. I will assign Weybridge to this city, and Jocelyn de Val II will be sold. I don't need that hero. Weybridge will be far more useful for the city in the long term, in my opinion. Dust Boost I'm a big fan of Dust Boost. It's better in the short term. I mean, I'm sure Dust Efficiency is better in the long term, but I just like Dust Boost. Allows you to be a little bit more flexible with your city. I'm going to get to work on the Chapel of Auriga in the capital. This will get us +1 population from the Nydia. Cost me 10 pearls, but it will get me an extra pop in here, which is, +1 population. It's not bad. Okay, Amenvar. Let's get 2 more pops in Amenvar and then pump the 2 science buildings. We're going to want the Dust Refinery. Ooh, we want the Moonleaf Extractor as well. We need those. We need to get those luxury resources online. We're also going to want the Dust Refinery, the Dust Depository, as well as the 2 militia buildings to protect the city. The Infantry Cantina getting us +1 militia is handy, and then the Stronghold gets us extra fortification. Okay, we've gotten the event Unwanted Oxidation, so strategic resource costs are skyrocketing. We just finished Bread and Circuses, reducing the expansion disapproval on our empire. So we need to donate 40 adamantium. Every time we search a ruin, it will cost you 8 of this resource, which will be contributed. We'll get 100 dust out of that. And the best contributor will get 60 titanium. I think that negative event is just going to have to continue to happen, and people are going to have to deal with it. Okay, over in Sleek, we want to build the Alchemical Institute. So I'm going to sell off some of this Palladian. I could sell off 8 safely. And I want to buy 10 adamantium. Boom. And since this is my science specialist city, I think working on the Alchemical Institute in this city is the right move. The hero in here leveled up as well. I'll take Subterranean Networker, because that'll put us 1 step towards Inspirational Leader. Now, we're also going to want to build some Blood Crystal Extractors. I will rush that. The Alchemical Institute will cost us 2,000 gold to rush, but that is not a worry for us. It is 10 turns until our next Empire plan, so we do need to simulate. I'm actually pretty happy with this situation. So we should have more than enough influence to do our Empire plan in 10 turns. I could get pieced with the Mycara by offering them Dust Refinery technology. I think I'm going to offer them Aquapulvistics because that's a fairly cheap tech, and Shipyard. And I'll make that offer, and we're now at peace. And that should lead to the establishment of trade routes eventually. We finished the Chapel of Auriga in Undand, and we got some luxury resource extraction going. Somebody else has completed the legendary deed to get the intelligence core. I'm not too worried about that. Baron Jocelyn de Val, who's in charge of Undand, has reached level 8, and I'm kind of curious to see. It's making 567 gold. So when I promote them with the Dust Trickery ability, it goes up to 611. Awesome. I'm going to save my cash for the creation of the Alchemical Institute, but I did get a Dust Depository in here, and we're making over 1,000 positive, profitable gold per turn. Looking great. Looks like winter ended pretty quickly here, which I'm quite happy about. Looks like the final urkan has emerged. That son of a... He got the Benevolent Emperor buff. That's what I wanted. I wanted that buff. 100% gold on approval happy. Well, you can't always beat the AI to everything. Man, he really beat me by a couple of turns. I had that Empire approval and everything. I was literally 2 turns away from doing that. It's devastating. Right, I'll save my gold to push through the Alchemical Institute. I'm genuinely a little bit sad about that. I got screwed. Never feels good to get screwed, unless you ask your mom. Oh yeah. Right, we have the gold now to push through the Alchemical Institute. This is going to be a very, very useful building. We're almost certainly going to want to build around it to upgrade it. So we've entered in a new era. Welcome to Era 4, the Age of Industry. Dust equipment is available for heroes and round units. Newly trained units will be a higher level. We've got access to new luxury resources and new strategic resources. A higher level empire plan and new legendary deeds are available. So we just finished researching public works. We're working on statistical methods next. And we finished the Alchemical Institute that can only be built by one person in the entire world. I would love to build the Elder of Auriga. It's what my country is quite good at doing, is building things. So once I finish researching these science buildings, I'm going to immediately jump to the Rare Metal Foundry, as well as the Advanced Harvester, so that we can get access to those new higher tier resources. First thing we're going to do is come down to Weichschul, build, we'll just let it slowly build the dust repository because that's worth experience and it doesn't actually cost upkeep for the city. But we are going to build the National Arena. That's going to give us a 50% influence boost from this city. Boop, we will gold purchase that, and we want the National Museum. Now, the National Arena can only be built once, and I'm building it in this city because I want this to be my influence city. We're also going to get to work on the National Museum. That's +2 influence on city center, on districts, and +2 per pop. So the influence value of this city will jump, meaning I won't need to run influence gathering in my other cities. And now that this city is very heavily specialized towards science, I feel pretty safe to buy through all the garrison draft, but also the Center for Mineral Studies. Once we have that, I'm happy to move all my pops over to working science. But again, what I'm really constrained by is gold. And developing my capital city is going to be one of the ways that I sort of break through that gold threshold. Okay, Weichschul is now cranking out 91 influence per turn. I think the National Museum would be incredibly useful at the capital. So I'm going to spend 600 gold on that, because there's a decent number of districts. And I'm also going to start pumping population into the capital so we can build more boroughs. I'm going to buy the Center of Mineralogy over in Sleek, so we'll be able to pump a lot of science into this city too. Ozek the Chosen has leveled up. I think I'm going to take Impassioned Preacher to keep pumping a lot of influence through these pops. All right, we'll buy another pop in the capital. Boom, that will unlock another borough street. And if I place this borough street here, it'll be worth 34 gold. I can buy it for 500 and keep pumping the cash flow of the city really high. Right, okay, next thing we need to do is probably activate all these boosters. So 5 happiness, well, the minus 50% upkeep is huge. Yeah, we're well over 1,500 gold production now. We don't care about the 50% food, so we'll probably just sell the spices. The 5 happiness is nice. The 50% production is actually handy, so we will crack that. Fortification is useful, so we'll crack that too. Yeah, but I'm just going to go ahead and sell off all of the spices because we do not need that food. All right, another district has been completed in the capital, and it does look like we also researched statistical methods. So we definitely want the +3 science on city center, on district, and per pop in here. So I will go ahead and grab that. The per pop is less important than the on the district stuff. The per pop stuff will matter a lot more over here in Sleek. So I'm going to buy that exact same thing. I'll get us a lot of science. We're currently making 2,000. Sorry, we're making 671 science per turn. Okay, I'm going to pop into Amavar and buy myself a settler. That'll be almost all of my gold for this turn, but it will put me in a position to settle over here and hopefully finish my faction quest. I need at least 13 gold, and we'll have to figure out what that means. But one of the things I love about playing the Forgotten Lords is the granularity to the development of their empire. You are in control of every little tiny decision, because you have to be. All of your production is gold, and that's a centrally managed resource pool. All right, we're going to buy another pop in here and get to work on another borough. It's 20 gold right there. We will buy that through to finish it this turn. Ozek the Chosen has leveled up once again. We will grab Impassioned Preacher. That'll be another +1 to influence gains in here. And this city is now more or less covering almost all of my influence needs by itself. Popping into Yeg to build some important buildings. We definitely need the Chapel of Auriga. The National Museum is worth building, as is the Nyctalopian lenses and the Advanced Alchemy Lab. So we'll kind of put those at the top of the queue. We'll slowly work on these things. Eventually we will kind of boost them. And I think the city is also ready for another borough. Okay, I think new Dust Eclipse is coming. We have finished Fluid Biomechanics, and we're working on the Rare Metal Foundry. Empire Plan time. So now this is what we want, but we can't get all of them. So we're going to have to compromise with what we can get. We're going to take the Empire Plan we can today, and then we'll look to see if we can extend down to the 50% population buyout or the 25% gold on cities. Both of those would be incredible. Duke Unwin has leveled up, which is excellent. Start pushing him to the top of the tree. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to settle this city just yet. I'm going to need to hunt for a location that makes 13 gold. And I think it might be here if I can get my units over there. I bribed this minor faction. I'm going to see if I can bring this settler to that tile. I've still got a little bit of cash left over. Let's go ahead and get this Moonleaf Extractor, the Dust Refinery, and the Dust Depository to push gold production of this city ahead. Perfect. A dust thingy has fallen upon the world, which is a perfect opportunity for my heroes to generate a lot of dust for me and also get a lot of experience. Rock Striker has leveled up again. I'm going to go ahead and take the Awe Striker promotion. Awe Striker will give him a 25% reduction in bribe costs. And then we can start working towards improved Aura affinity. That'll get us extra pearls when we collect them. And that is not so bad an ability to have. Taking a look at the capital, we have the option to do a large-scale aquatic center. This will get us +3 science on terrain with sea or lake. It's going to be a nice boost because we do have a decent amount of sea and lake here. And the hydromatic laboratory will also get a nice science boost out of this city. However, I think the majority of my gold is being pumped towards districts. I wish this would show me how much excess happiness I have, because I want to be careful not to build too many districts in here. All right, let's continue to inject cash into the capital. We'll finish that Borough Street. And part of the reason we do this is because it's also going to boost Baron Jocelyn. And we really want this dust trickery level, as well as the cold operator, so that the city is immune to the effects of winter, basically meaning it will have a very little variability in its outputs. Okay, Baron Jocelyn. Oh, hello. We met Makoa. They are indifferent to me. It's fine. Baron Jocelyn has leveled up again. We can go ahead and take Dust Trickery. The city is now producing over 1,000 gold per turn. We can buy 2 more pops in here and start another borough. This one's worth 47 gold per turn. Amazing. This is where our capability of snowballing starts to get out of control, is by leveling up people like Baron Jocelyn. Now, Weichsul has finished basically any of its productivity stuff. So I think the natural thing to do here is to go for the Stronghold Architecture, the Infantry Cantina, and let them slowly build that. The Stronghold Architecture will provide a little bit of experience to Ozek the Chosen. It'll be +1 experience for the +1 EXP per turn on Army, and a little bit of experience. You get about, I think it's 8% of the production cost of the building as experience +1. So a little bit of experience for these things is in order. Skia Keeper Dabuo Ofusu has leveled up as well. And we're going to take Inspirational Leader level 2. That'll be another 5% across the board yield boost for this city. And then there'll be another 10% coming in the future. All right, let's buy another 2 population in the capital. We'll buy... we probably should have bought through the Borough Street this turn. It's no big deal. Oof. Luxury boosters are going to cost more now. We have finished the rare metal foundry, so we can start exploiting the next tier of resources. It does cost titanium to do that. Let's see. Help activate 10 luxury boosters among Blood Crystal, Grass Silk, Moonleaf, Quicksilver, and Titan Bones to get rid of the lack of luxury. And the best contributor will get Quicksilver. Well, that'll probably be part of my plans. Good old random event. You'll love to see it. Okay, 15 gold here. We colonize the new region. In your new region, build a watchtower and pacify all minor villages by whatever means necessary. So that means I have to come back here and actually research the watchtower technology here, Imperial Highways. All right, we got another Borough Street in the capital. We're continuing to develop in here. I reckon we can continue to push this city along the coastline. You can kind of see how the city is kind of stretched out up along here. The capital is up to a healthy 19 population. And our goal is to hit Era 5 with a 30 pop city so that we can get the -50% expansion disapproval on all of our cities, which basically means we can expand to our heart's content. And that's going to be the goal. If you're wondering why I'm building up the capital, also the capital is starting to generate a obscene amount of resources, which I can then feed into my other cities. Let's bribe the minor faction because that's what the quest needed me to do. That'll also get me a +1 population in here in theory. There we go. There's the bribe. So now you have 2 pop in here. Okay, the dust eclipse is over. I can pop in here into the capital. I need to buy another pop. And this city is no longer fervent. So we need to start bringing up the happiness here, which will require us to fill in this line of districts. And by doing so, we will level up these districts, lowering their penalty on the city's happiness. That's going to be a process we'll work on over the next few turns. Now, if I had to settle a city in Mach, I would either settle it here or on this little island for happiness reasons. Okay, nice. We researched Advanced Harvester and we're working on Imperial Highways. Weichsul finished its Infantry Cantina. To be fair, I'm not looking to really make much progress on much of anything in anything but my capital. This is where the real progress is happening. I'm going to click to finish the Borough Street and increase the population in here. And this is where almost all of my gold is going. I will get the Hydromial expansion and the Dustwater extractor, but they will be purchased in due time. All right, I'm going to do another Titan Bones booster. Because I like that 50% production boost, even though it doesn't do a huge amount for me, because my empire does not focus on production. We're going to have level 10 Baron Jocelyn take Dust Trickery, level 3. That's another 15% boost in gold in this city. It's now up to 1,500 gold. It's almost just an absurd amount of gold in my entire empire. that is producing. All right, by building this borough, I will make some of these boroughs level 2, thus increasing the happiness of my city. So that's what I'll do. And I'll also get these extractors going. And so I'm focusing almost all of my gold into Undant at the moment. I'm going to work on Imperial funding after I have finished Imperial highways. I want that +5 on terrain with science. That'll help me jump up into the next era. And most importantly, get access to town criers for that 40% dust boost. But I also want that Imperial expansion reduction. That is also important to me. All right, this city is now mega happy because several of these districts have leveled. If you look here, this is now a level 2 district, providing +5 happiness instead of minus happiness. And if I crank out one more borough, man, the price of population is starting to get out of hand. It has to be done though. I need another 7. But I can pop over here to Mock and grab the watchtower. So I'll pop a watchtower there and I will purchase it, and that should finish our faction quest. Bishop Julian has leveled up. I will go ahead and get the extra life on his units bonus, making his army a little bit tankier. Okay, excellent. Looks like we got a new hero from doing that quest. We got Martin de Ilden de Saluzzo. He has army initiative boost and influence boost. So assign de Saluzzo to a city for 10 turns. Build up a district or city center to level 2. This will get me the Dust Crematorium, which will turn +1 experience into gold. Amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and salt the earth in this city and move it over to here where it's more useful. Probably over to here, honestly. I definitely want to get another city in there. Let's do it. We'll get another city here and then we'll assign what's his name to that city. Right, we popped out the settler. We'll create a new army with the settler and we'll move it into position. Okay, let's buy a population in the capital, grab ourselves another borough, and just keep remembering 30 population is the goal. Finish researching Imperial funding, and winter has started. We are looking down the barrel of 3 more technologies to get through to the next era. So what 3 technologies do we think would be useful? We could go back and grab up some of these cheap techs way back here. I think it would be good for us to research cargo docks for sure. It's only 3,000 science, so we can crack that out really quick. It'll give us access to a new district type. And then researching organized labor to get stockpiles could also be really handy. And then I reckon getting signal cores would be good. It would give us +2 army slots on our empire, allowing us to level up our heroes faster. I'm hoping to save up enough money to complete that world quest that says you need to have 4,000 gold in the bank. There it is. We get 80 adamantium here. I think it also gives us a nice status. And now I can crank pops into the capital. The return on investment here from cranking pops in here is not perfect. It's not ideal, but we do only need 2 more turns of this to guarantee the victory on that quest. Oh, Zek the Chosen has leveled up. So we can take his impassioned preacher to its final thing. It's where it needs to be. And now we can pop up to some of these things here, like proselytizer, which we definitely want that. That's a 50% boost to influence here. And along the way, we'll get a little bit of a boost to science. Nice, we've unlocked the cargo docks, and we've got 2 settlers in position to throw down in 4 turns when the next empire plan comes through. I'm going to give the Auriga Affinity amulet to Bishop Julian. Means when he collects pearls, we'll end up with more, which will help us out just a little bit. Okay, boom. We now have 30 population in the capital, and we don't really need more. We can leave that where it is. The capital has had enough attention for long enough. I'll put the cargo docks over here, and I guess for the sake of completeness of the city, I will get to work on those watchtowers. I'll also build the coastal batteries. Otherwise, I'm going to leave this city just to slowly work on this, because this is my only city that actually has production. And then I'm going to be shifting my gold focus over to cities like Weichschul. Now, why am I focusing on the development of Weichschul? Well, this is a city that's going to generate me an absurd amount of influence if I can get the right stuff. So one of the things we want here is a luxury intensifier. This will double the resources from luxuries and get you money from them. So very handy to pick up there. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock that blessing. I'm going to build the luxury intensifier on the hydromial deposit, the dust water deposit. So we're currently profiting 2,300 gold per turn. I'm going to go ahead and pop the gold booster. I'm also going to pop Moonleaf here, and I'm going to pop Blood Crystal, which technically contributes to the quest, and now we're making 2,400 from cities. So let's pump money into this city. Perfect. Weichschul is making 150 influence right now. And our goal, luxury prices have returned to normal, which is excellent. Because we activated a whole bunch of those luxury boosters. I guess for the sake of of doing it, I'm going to activate emeralds, and I will activate spices as well, even though it means nothing to me. So there you go. Now we're making 4 dust water per turn from this city. Although we don't know actually what that booster does at the moment. We will know. Yeah, it's a 50% gold boost. So that's why we wanted to build that on the dust water. It's really, really important to build your luxury intensifiers on the right stuff. And now we also want to level this up. So we're going to surround it with burrows. And we're going to pump population into this place to get that influence growing. Okay, I'm a little bit worried about these guys attacking me because the combat power on these fire ships is terrifying. So I'm going to see if they want to do a little bit of diplomacy, a little bit of peace. I'm going to offer them peace and attack and hopefully bring them down to a more chill level. That means they can't attack me outside of, unless I like invade their borders, you know. Perfect. We finished researching organized labor, which is a great thing to put our excess production into. Okay, we quick bought so much stuff in Weichsel last turn, which has brought the city up to a very, very powerful level. Let's start our empire plan. Now, in a perfect world, we would do this. However, we can't quite afford that just yet. Now, I can lose the +2 science on districts and gain the extra gold and cheaper population buyout, which I think is a reasonable shift in my empire, especially because I'm going to use all that extra gold to push through developments in the region of getting increased influence in Weichsel here. So now I feel safe to settle my 2 new cities, and I will be shunting production into developing those pretty quick. There's the Moonleaf quest. What was the second half of that quest? I got that quest like at the start of the game. Build a glass steel extractor to get the weapon. Okay, I'm going to assign Martin Ildan de Solozo to this city here. We'll start by building all the basic stuff. I'm going to push up towards Inspirational Leader and Cold Operator early. So I'll take Indiana Bones, Fast Healer, and Defender first. But right now I'm focused on developing Weichsel. I want that influence churn to be ready for my next empire plan. Summer has returned. New world quest. Be the first empire to tame all 3 urkans and gain all 13 of their special abilities. So we got the 37, which is a one-handed crossbow from that quest that we completed. Let me pop down to this city and finish this. This is a 1 copy in your empire, so I'm going to go ahead and just quickly finish it because it keeps popping up in my construction queue and I have to think about whether or not I want to build it. It's just in my way and annoying. So now one thing that I wanted to build was the world unique, this thing, the Elder of Auriga. So I need 35 of each of these resources. I'm going to go to the thing, the market, and start buying the mithrite. I have the Hyperium coming in, but it's the mithrite that I'm struggling with. Let me go ahead and sell off some of this and a little bit of this. I think keeping 50 in stock is like a reasonable move. But we basically have the mithrite now, so we'll be able to continue to develop that. We'll continue to get more next turn, rather, is what I'm trying to say. There's a nice little island city down here somewhere. We reached a new research era. Dust tier 2 equipment available. Newly trained units will be level 5 and new legendary abilities. So that's Signal Corps finished. New legendary deeds and buildings are available. Only 1 empire can achieve them. Some construction is complete. We'll work on that. Now, in theory, I need to get 2 more population in the capital. Well, that's not so bad because I can just immediately buy those 2 right now. And that should complete this once I roll over the turn. Now, in the meantime, we're going to get to work on town criers and improved dust alchemies. It's going to be a serious boost to my economy. Lazmak has leveled. We can finally grab Inspirational Leader to gain that across the board boost in the city. This city has just been cranking out 500 signs for me every turn for quite a while, which is on par with my capital, right? Pretty mind-blowing stuff. All right, let's buy the 5 mithrite here. Boom. And then we need to buy our way up to the Hyperium as well. So we probably can finish this turn if I sell off some of my Palladian, some of this. Well, I just need 5 Hyperium. Boom. So now in here, I can make the Throne of Emperors. Don't even talk to me about the Reliquary of Auriga, okay? That's going to be something we look into later. But the Throne of Emperors, I can slap down right here, and I should be able to level it up no problem. It is going to cost me 4,000 gold to buff through, but I'm more than willing to pay that for the influence. It's 100 influence per turn if I get the thing up to level 2. Okay, perfect. Legendary deed completed. We now have a 75% reduction in our expansion disapproval in our city. So if I come to the capital here and I look at expansion disapproval, it's only plus 15, which is like having 1.5 extra cities. So this means we can now mass expand to our heart's desire, because all we need to research now is where is it? It's in here somewhere. Yeah, state-approved theater, minus 25% expansion disapproval generation in cities, which means we now have 100% expansion disapproval reduction. So we can expand as much as we want. But yeah, I love playing Endless Legend as a kind of like economic game where you focus on developing your cities and stuff. I find that to be intensely rewarding and exciting. It's my favorite way to play 4X games in general, is not having to go to war with people and just building up this overwhelming economy and manipulating and putting things together and just enjoying the process of building an engine of economy. Okay, Waiksul, we're going to go ahead and finish the Throne of Emperors this turn. I also want to build the Advanced Alchemy Lab for science from my city centers and districts. Imperial funding will give me extra science from terrain with science. We do want to build the cargo docks, but just not quite yet. What we actually want to do is to continue to pump population into this city for the absurd amount of influence that's worth. Now, I also need heroes to garrison the couple of new cities that I built, but we have the Throne of Emperors, and what we care about the Throne of Emperors is the influence. So we finished the Throne of Emperors, and I just got a phone call. So that's going to give us 100 influence per turn, which is a huge influence boost. And you consider that that's also getting boosted by Ozek the Chosen skills, in particular Proselytizer, that we're currently pumping up to its maximum capacity. One thing we definitely want in here is another pair of garrison drafts to keep getting Ozek more experience. We want to get him as high a level as possible because every level is worth 1% influence in the city. And every level means we can get more and more things that boost the city. Things like Inspirational Leader, Proselytizer. We get level up the Will of Achille, the Tools of the Enemy. Now, these aren't probably the most important ones, but they do help. They do help a little bit. Okay, perfect. We just researched town criers. We want that in the capital immediately. We got another dust eclipse coming, which is fantastic. We need 10 mithrite. And I also need to find mithrite deposits to actually improve in my empire because it's getting too expensive to buy these. There's a mithrite deposit over here. I'm going to immediately get that online. This is the consequence of delaying the construction of these kind of deposits. All right, let's go ahead and buy some titanium because we need that to make the mithrite deposit extractors. So we've got mithrite income now. And we're going to pop into the capital and immediately begin the construction of the town crier. I'm going to put that to the top of the queue. Actually, there is a way. If you just shift click things, they will go to the top of the queue, which is handy. But that costs nearly $3,000 to buff that through. But once we do, oh baby. Okay, Baron Jocelyn. We're going to grab a cold operator here, so his city will no longer suffer negative effects from winter, which is quite nice because there is a winter coming in 2 to 14 turns. All right, we're going to buy out town criers for 2,400. Bishop Julian has leveled up again. A good ability to pick up here is Thrifty in the late game. We don't need it right now, but it is good to pick up. For now, I'm going to focus on Iron Taskmaster for that extra 100 life for every unit in his army. Considering our ability to increase our defenses, let me check diplomacy. Okay, these guys don't hate me. I'm going to send these guys a compliment, and I think I would like a map exchange. Now, in terms of things that we care about, spices are incredibly low on the list, but they seem to not care about many of these either. They do care about Alchemy Workshop, so I'll give them Alchemy Workshop in exchange for a map exchange, and hopefully by exchanging knowledge, oh wow, holy shit, they have a huge empire. I had no idea they had such a large empire. Well, I think they are the AI that snowballed the most. I reckon my goal will be to go to war with the Maikara. I think it'd be quite handy if we could take their land and take their urkan. Dabuo has leveled up. We'll go ahead and take Inspirational Leader level 3 for another 10% boost of yields across the board. Man, I'm having so much fun playing this game. It's such a well-made 4X game. We're going to go ahead and take Proselytizer on Ozek the Chosen. So now the city is cranking out a healthy 640 influence per turn. All right, let's finish those cargo docks. Let's build another borough. I think in here, I'm going to unlock not the winter borough, although the winter borough is nice. I want the strategic resource intensifier. I'm going to go ahead and unlock that. We have met Piche of the Wild Walkers. They feel indifferent to me, which I'm quite happy about. We'll go ahead and quick buy that settler. And now we can start maybe looking around at other cities. So we have this city down here of Moke that has Martin de Ildan de Solozo. And his goal was to level up the city center. So I think that's what we're going to work on. We're going to pump a bunch of money in here. And we're just going to queue up basically everything in this city and click buy our way through as much of it as we can in a single turn and see how far we can develop that city in a handful of turns. I'm going to do some fungal exfoliation in here. I will do that. Amavar will do fungal exfoliation in here too. I'll have to buy those next turn, and we'll do a fungal exfoliation in here this turn. And hopefully by buying all of these on the same turn, we'll basically cripple the Mycaran economy. Okay, we're going to pump Dust Orchid, which is a 20% yield boost across our empire. We're going to pump Dust Water, which is a 50% gold boost across our empire. Hydromiel will lower our hero upkeep. Moonleaf will increase our science. And Titan Bones is still pumping along nicely. Can you activate these things twice in a row, I wonder? Yeah, booster stayed active 20 turns, 13 turns. So yeah, you can keep activating these, which is nice. Because that means my empire is chooching at levels that have never been chooched before. Lovely. We've researched improved dust alchemies. We're going to want that in the capital as soon as possible. A whole bunch of stuff has been completed. Weichsul finished its settler. We now have, dust crematorium. +1 experience converted into into dust on Empire. And if we get the military empire plan to level 3, we'll gain 35 gold as well. That's our next factional quest. We are going to want to focus on our factional quest because, it does improve your empire quite a bit. It's one of the things I actually really like about Endless Legend is that there's all these really cool ways you can advance your economy. Okay, we're pumping gold into Mock once again. I want this city up and running as fast as possible, so I think pumping into it is going to be the right move. Let's go to our military. We're going to take the Stalwart level 4. Now we have the option of using dust level equipment, and I think it is worth it to use dust level equipment. So we could take regeneration, recovering 4 life per level after round. I think this is an in-battle effect. I do think that an Iron Talisman giving them 10 movement speed is super powerful, and then we'll take the improved life effect here. That'll give them plus 40% extra health, and this is a 350 health unit. Very, very powerful. So these are the Stalwarts. Although I feel like the name Stalwart doesn't really work if I give them two-handed weaponry, so I'm going to kind of quickly change them back to be sword and shield. Okay, let's do the same for our dust bishops, and we'll do the same for our dredges, who have a 40% chance to stun targets when attacking. So these are going to be our elite units that we use to take out the Mycara, and the reason we want to have those is so that we can start building them in a variety of our cities. A whole bunch of stuff has been completed in Mock again. I'm hoping that actually leveled up the hero in here, and it did. He's got 2 skill points. We'll pump him up into Inspirational Leader. Perfect. And the city is now making 400 gold per turn. First things first, let's make sure I finish the... Oh, you cannot buy out fungal exfoliation. I thought you could. Well then, let me put all of my pops onto fungal exfoliation duty and get that done a little quicker. I want them all to line up on 5 turns, so I'll buy pops in these cities until they all say 5 turns. So that way we eradicate all of the fungal growth of the Mycara on the same turn, crippling their empire's economy. Now, popping back down to Mock, we're going to crank out 8 garrisons for Martin de Ilden. Want this guy to level up pretty quick, because remember, he has influence boost, and also he's just a decent leader. This city can be a strong contributor to our empire in general. And the rate of expansion of my empire's gold capacity is now going to be absurd. I think I'm adding a couple hundred gold income. I'm adding a couple hundred yields to my economy every single turn at the rate that I'm able to buy stuff. So Martin is available for another level. I will take Cold Operator. What we really want is Dust Trickery, but we're just focused on other things. We'll pump through all of these garrison drafts. I want to build another one of those burrows, so I'll buy 2 more pops in here. All right, we've unlocked State-Approved Theater. Now we have 0 expansion disapproval on our empire, meaning we can settle as many cities as we like. I think it would be nice to gain scientific specialization to be able to pump science from a single city. So we'll go ahead and grab that. We'll be able to pump science from Slick over here. All right, Martin has leveled up again, and we can finally start getting Dust Trickery. That's another 15% gold on the city. We've got to build 3 more boroughs for the city of Mock, and so we shall focus on doing that. All right, where do I turn my attention to? I think there's something to be said for Weichsul. We'll push through another borough street here, and we're going to go ahead and settle a city down here in, what is this, Kentamis. Let's grab all those tasty watchtowers first, so we can see what's going on around the world. Ozek the Chosen has leveled up, you saucy little devil you. Let's go ahead and take Inspirational Leader for an across-the-board yield boost. You built a Stalwart. Now, my Stalwart level 6 costs a decent amount, but I can sell them for 1,000. And that's pretty damn good. All right, we definitely want the Dust Revitalizer in the capital. I will quickly buy a single Mithrite. I want to stop buying it, though, because it's becoming a little bit expensive, but that should skyrocket the gold in here to another tier. Okay, final borough for Mock. is being purchased, which means this city is effectively finished and I no longer need to invest currency into it. And that's a really nice thing because it's producing 1,000 gold per turn, which I can then invest into my other cities. And I think Yeg over here has been neglected for a very, very long time. And it's about time that this city got its due attention. Purchasing my way through literally everything that I can afford. Place a cargo dock there. We don't want the luxury intensifier on the spice extractor. We want either the Titan bones or the gold extractor. And I think I would prefer the gold extractor. So that's what I'm going to do. The strategic intensifier I would like on the mithrite. So we'll come back to the city, or we'll just pump citizens into it. Looks like some kind of influence alliance event popped. We don't really care about that. We do have scientific specialization, which is going to be really useful for that science city. We can go to our next thing. Looks like a whole bunch of stuff got built. We definitely want to research modernized administration for the extra influence that provides, and the scaling population yields from the Imperial News Network, as well as the Arts Council are going to be useful too. So we'll keep pumping our economy up so that it hits like a sort of unstoppable curve of insanity. All right, let's have a look at Moke. I'd like to get this city properly finished. So I want that dust revitalizer. So I'm going to need titanium and mithrite. Titanium is still dirt cheap. Ooh, I'm selling it, not buying it. Oops, it's a little bit of a mistake. Okay, titanium is now expensive, so I don't want to keep buying it. Let's see if we can also buy glass steel until its price goes neutral. All right, glass steel's price has gone neutral, but we have massively increased our stockpile of it. We're going to get the dust revitalizer in here, and that'll basically be the last building we need in here for a very long time, and that's going to give a huge gold boost. All these tiles that generate dust will get shumped up. Okay, perfect. End of gear, I will just get you to work on super basic stuff, but we definitely want advanced extraction in the capital. That's going to give us +4 luxury resources, and there's a lot of luxury resources in here. Activate as many of these boosters as well. I'm going to pop up here to Slick S. Finish recruiting our garrison drafts. God, we have so many buildings to build up here too. The really big important one is here, the Living Laboratory, which is 100% science on the city, and the Climatology Guild. I'm going to switch you back to producing science for me. Amenvar, you can go back to producing gold for me. And Endegir, you can go back to producing gold for me too. Okay, so Yeg was the city that I was developing. The Keeper has actually leveled. That's fantastic. We're going to take cold operators, so the city will take no penalties during winter. I want to build another borough. I'll plonk it right there and buy it through. We want the strategic intensifier on this thing, so we don't need to build it right now. Extra science from terrain on river sounds good. We also want the right of way and the coastal battery, so we can kind of pump our way through all of these techs. All of these buildables, rather. I still have gold left over. Now, this is where I am starting to shove as much gold into my cities as they can take. They can no longer accept more gold. And that's a really, really important milestone because it means all that money that I was shumping into my cities can get shumped into military and expansion. I really can't explain how much fun I'm having playing Ender's Legend. I'm super, super enjoying it. I literally just typed into my editor Discord channel, like, dude, I cannot wait for you guys to edit this. Like, I'm having so much fun playing this game right now. Super, super intriguing, economic puzzle. Okay, let's pop over to Yeg. We want a strategic resource amplifier on this. We want to build another borough adjacent to the strategic resource amplifier so that we can maximize its level. So I'm going to buy some population in here, put a borough next to it, then buy to finish both of those. I'm also going to get to work. No, well, I don't need Aura of Empire. Did we just unlock that? Yeah, we just unlocked modernized administration. It's going to be super powerful once we start rolling those out in some of our cities. First city that we should roll that out in is probably Whiteshall, because this is an influence generating thing, and this is the city that we want to generate influence in. I'll put a strategic intensifier on this adamantine extractor, and that will allow me to continue to build boroughs along this city. I'll also put a borough on this glass steel. Need to keep developing as much of this city as I can. Every single one of my cities has to keep getting pumped along. So we actually do have trade routes here, although I think these trade routes are kind of going through my empire, but now I think it's reasonable to get the customs ministry. This will give me an extra +7 trade routes. We'll also go for the Aura of Empire, which I will quick buy for 3,000 gold, because I want that influence. I'll pop over here to Baron Jocelyn. Oh wait, I never equipped the Band of Merriment on him, so let me quickly fix that. He's got the Band of Merriment now. I'm going to take Dust Diviner. That flat dust increase, pumping out 4,000 gold per turn in this city. It's crazy good, man. All right, Yeg and Kentamis need construction A guardian has risen. Exciting. Wings of Ruin. With an army composed of only a single flying unit of level 4 minimum, search the highlighted ruin. The flying unit will be consumed in order to reanimate the sleepers. Let's do it. So I need a flying unit. I don't think I have any flying units. Well, all right, let's pop over the Yegg. Now, what were we doing in here? Well, we were trying to level up this strategic resource intensifier. So I'll put another burrow beside that and quick buy it. And then I'll buy 2 more population in here. I wanted the luxury resource intensifier on the gold. I think a large-scale aquatic center is reasonable for us to buy here, as is the aura of empire. And then I'll use your overflow production to work on stalwarts, dredges, and dust bishops. Kentamis is over here in the far reaches of my empire. We're going to focus on the expansion of boroughs here. Now, 2 key things that I want is a luxury resource intensifier on this gold and a strategic resource intensifier on this mithrite, the Hyperium deposit rather. Nice, we've unlocked the Imperial News Network, the INN. That'll be great to build. Yes, look at all this. Look at all this infrastructure finishing. It's a beautiful, amazing thing. Winter has started, although a lot of my cities are now immune to winter. Now, there is no hero assigned to Kentamis. The land here is primarily forest, so this could actually be a production city, which would make it a viable place for a sort of wild walker hero. Okay, it's time for an empire plan, and we have an absurd amount of influence. Now, we need to minimum get to level 3 on this, but it looks like we can do a full level 4 empire plan across my empire, which means we're getting +3 gold per pop working gold. We're getting a 25% buyout reduction, extra 50% trade route bonuses, 25% gold on our cities, 20% science, 33% reduction on building cost production, 2 science per district, 2 production per district, +2 vision on our units, +3 movement on our units, +25 happiness on our cities, 50% reduction in the cost of buying out our population. Our units are 20% cheaper, they have 20% more attack, 50% less upkeep, and 50% more life. Boom. We just maxed it out. And also, we should finish our faction quest next turn. So Keeper Dabu Ofusu has leveled up. We have Inspirational Leader, we have Cold Operator, we have Defender. It could be good to push. I think Arboreal Dust Dowser is not a bad one to pick up. So we'll place a burrow right here, and then we're going to buy it to finish it, which should level up the Mithrite Extractor to level 2, meaning I think we get more Mithrite from it. I think. Possibly. Regardless, it is an improvement. Okay, I think I'm going to take Exid the Chosen here as a leader on this new city, Kentamis. They have the industry efficiency ability, which will give them +2 industry per pop on the city and 1% industry per hero's level. We will focus on getting Impassioned Preacher, and this city will be an industry-focused city, which is unusual for my empire, but it is going to be where I produce armies. So, to make that a reality, I'm going to pump a whole bunch of gold in here to make as many pops as I can, and that'll keep this city busy for a little while. Okay, awesome. We've completed quest 4. Our kingdom is no longer divided, and our new quest is capture or destroy the city of Trode. It's all the way over here. So I think we're going to engage in the war with the Maikara first, and then look to capture Fakir, this city, and then a couple of these islands to the north. So I bought 2 population in Weixel, and I'm working on borough streets to keep expanding this city. I definitely want the Imperial News Network, because that's another +1 influence per pop in here. So I will pay to finish that this turn. That seems like a good use of my gold. I'll buy 2 pops in Yegg as well, so we can start moving towards making the luxury resource intensifier on the gold over here. Although that said, the Red Sang could be amazing for that 100% experience. I have gone heavily into hero stuff. Nice. We finished researching the Arts Council, which is going to give us a science and influence boost. I'm going to research the Scyther because I do need a flying unit. So I'm not going to be injecting gold into cities like Weixel, Undand, or Yegg anymore, because these cities have kind of reached what I consider to be the pinnacle. And what we really need is to inject gold into cities like, well, Mach is finished as well. Like, we don't need gold in here anymore. But cities like Endigir, Amenvar, Slick, and Kentamis need money. Kentamis is going for a production-based build, so it doesn't need my help quite as much as my other cities. I'm going to pop over to Slick here and focus on getting the science in here maxed out. The living lab tools will double the science in here, 100% science on city, which is excellent. We're also going to grab the climatology guild for the 15% or 15 science on district level 2, although I can't actually afford that just yet, so I'll grab the emerald extractor, the gold extractor, and I will buy through the watchtowers with the goal of leveling up the commander Lazmak because we want this inspirational leader trait to be maxed out. 7,000 gold per turn is just absurd. We have access to scythers now. These are expensive construct infantry. Whole bunch of stuff is getting built. What we want to do here is edit the scyther, create an elite and unstoppable version of it, and we'll recruit one of those in the capital. Baron has leveled up again. May as well take Dust Diviner for the small boost in terrain with dust, and then we'll make our way towards Inspirational Leader at long last. Finally broke the 8,000 gold per turn mark. Feeling good about that. Okay, we're going to buy out the Climatology Guild. Another Burrow Street in here on this tile because we want to get the Hyperium Intensifier there. I'll buy a Quicksilver Extractor. And what else do we need in here? Well, this city is never going to produce military for me, so I will get the queue up the 2 garrisons. And this hero has leveled up. We'll go for another level of Inspirational Leader. The science output is now over 1,000 in here. God, that's good. We're going to keep getting it higher and higher. In terms of research, it's probably not the worst thing in the world to come back and research things like citizen armies, possibly even management sciences. It's a way for us to get a tiny little bit of production in our cities. That production is useful. Things like native districts for minor assimilation slots. We are 1 tech away from being able to start researching dust-driven distillery, although I may prioritize the difference engine for the science boost. We'll see. We're reaching the ultra late game now, and we're finally in a position to go to war. Okay, welcome to Era 6, the end of ages. Dust Tier 3 equipment is available for heroes and ground units. Newly trained units will be level 6 and will cost more. Bingo bango, we just finished the management sciences. Now, it will take us 17 turns to research the difference engine, and I like the idea of getting 100% science in all our cities, so I'm going to go ahead and go for that. I want to build another borough over here in Sleek because I want to build out towards this dust water deposit. So I'm going to create 2 more pops in here. But the other thing I want to do is I want to level up some of these districts because right now they're all sort of negatively impacting the happiness of my town. So I'm also going to be working on that. Let's grab Imperial funding to get extra science here. The Arts Council would be fantastic to grab as well. And I will build the I'm tempted to build a strategic resource amplifier on the Palladian because I'll actually be able to level up the Palladian one. So I think that's what we will do. Okay, Weichsel finished its borough. I'm going to pop in 2 more population here. I'm building the apprenticeship registry. And did not mean to click spacebar. That was a little bit of a misclick there. I'm going to build another borough over here again because every borough that I build gives me a huge amount of science, gives me a huge amount of influence, and it justifies me putting more population in here to continue to generate an absurd amount of influence to maintain the empire that will forever be growing now. But I am going to stop injecting gold into these cities because they're super late game. All right, let's hit the pinnacle of unit design. Now, these are units, 500 health, 141 defense. Very, very powerful. I could go for more attack and damage, but I think I like the idea of sword and board tanky units in front of dust bishops, kind of pew-pewing from the back line. My 2 dust bishops are fully upgraded, or rather my empire's capacity for dust, like the ability to make really dust bishops has been upgraded. I'm going to go ahead and, I did not mean to cancel that scyther. What I want to do is upgrade the scyther to tier 3 equipment and then build one in the capital, ideally purchasing it to finish it next turn to join this army. Then I'll use my gold next turn to make this army be retrofit for the future. And then we'll go on an offensive against the Mycara. Oh, whoops, I built the Scyther over here. We'll start a new army with the Scyther. We'll send it to go join this army stack. We'll retrofit this whole army stack and also the hero. Ooh, the Dust Insignia is army health boost. Plus 35 life to the army and a 15% life boost to the army too. That is sick. So I'll go ahead and upgrade this hero. Super powerful hero now. We'll retrofit his whole army. Now it's a 10,000 gold strong army. We'll send this against the Mycaran. First things first is I'm going to send them a warning. Dude, I am so into this recording right now. I can't actually stop myself from playing the game. I'm having so much fun, like preparing this huge mega economy. Okay, we got a ton of gold in the bank. Let's take a look at Slick. Commander Earthsjoe has leveled up again. We have grabbed all of the inspirational leader levels. So I'm going to get to work on alchemical genius for the +2 science on city centers and districts. Because I think that's a very powerful ability, especially in a city that's generating so much science for me. I'm going to quick buy the strategic resource intensifier. I'll get to work on a borough and I'll quick buy that as well. They're still fairly cheap. I'm going to build a cargo dock over here, and they're also very cheap, so I'll buy those too. I'll get the Hyperium extractor, the coastal battery, the dust filtration, and we'll just let the city chooch along as it is. I can't build a new borough in Yegg, so I'm going to add 2 pops to the city and place a borough, and then I'll buy out the borough to finish it this turn. This is going to be how we expand our economy coming up now. Duke Unwin Weybridge has leveled, and he's a little bit behind the curve compared to some of my other heroes, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a whole bunch of new equipment. So I'm going to give him the Quivering Circlet because it's a little bit of resources. I will give him the Band of Merriment because it's a little bit of happiness, and I will give him the Tome of Glasssteel for the +1 gold per pop. And just for the sake of him being a well-developed hero unit to protect the city, I'm also going to give him up-to-date equipment. Now, speaking of his actual city, we've got a lot we need to develop here. I'm going to build the Chapel of Auriga, but the main thing we need to start developing are things like the Emerald Extractors, the Titanium Extractors, and all these watchtowers and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and buy through all of these things. That will finish them this turn. And then we'll get started on boroughs. We'll quick buy that borough as well. There we go, happy days. And now we can come over to Endegear, who does not have a hero. Let's pop in and see if we can recruit a hero for this city. We don't want a Draken hero because they're all about generating food and influence. I mean, Narrative Master is fantastic, don't get me wrong. Alongside the influence boost, I could make an extremely powerful influence city by taking just a single level in Irrigation Expert, fully leveling Narrative Master, and then doing Inspirational Leader alongside Influence Boost. This could be a very, very powerful influence city. The question is, do I want this to be an influence city? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think I generate enough influence to cover my needs. So I don't think I need another influence city. I do think Sitli Owaki is actually not a terrible pick for making a production city. You can see here, they can give a bunch of production. It can lower the upkeep of the city, lower the production cost of buildings in the city, and just straight up give a 45% production boost to this city. Now, I don't think this is necessarily the best city for this, but it's also not the worst. A lot of the terrain here is rocky fields that has a baseline amount of production on it, which does combo pretty well with that hero. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that Wild Walker hero. I'm going to buy him. I will assign him to this city, and then I'm going to take his levels. I'll put a level into Functioning Insomniac. That'll get him started. He's going to need a lot of stuff here to get him going. But the very first thing I'm going to do is get him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 garrisons. And I'm going to quick buy them all to get his experience pumping. A couple of my cities have finished their construction queues, mostly due to the fact that I purchased my way through. Let's go ahead and talk to Rhizoma. We're going to do a declaration of war. All right, let's attack Fakir. They have no hero, no nothing. I'm going to auto attack on offensive. Looks like we took him down pretty easily. And Fakir is now mine. So this is an urkan. Each urkan, there's 3 urkans available, and they are the sworn enemies of the Maikara, and each one comes with a bonus. So you can see here, Berserker Blood gives plus 15% attack and 50% damage to allied units in the same region while he's in army form. Urkan Conditioning gives them an extra bonus to their initiative and speed. And the Dust Leecher allows you to generate an extra 20% dust in regions adjacent to a rooted Urkan. Now, I'm going to uproot this Urkan so that I can use him as a secondary army. All right, popping back into Amenvar, we need to continue to produce boroughs to level up the city. It would be nice to build districts down to this Mithrite extraction, but then again, it would be nice to do many things. So instead, what I'll do is I'll focus on developing the city's economy. Step by step. Sitli Owaki has leveled up thanks to me purchasing a whole bunch of stuff in his city. We'll grab Woodland Forager so we can move up the natural resources. Now, this city doesn't have that much wood, but it's fun. Martin Ildan de Saluzzo has also leveled up, which means I can take another level into Dust Trickery. Now, Mock was building a production stockpile, an industry stockpile, which is something you can spend or sell, for that matter, on the market. So if you come over here to the stockpiles, you can see here, industry stockpiles are fairly inexpensive. They're worth 100 gold. But it's basically a way to move production from one city to another. So if I want Kentamis to be, more productive, I can plug 1,000 production in there with an industry stockpile. And when I come over here, you can see there's 1,000 production here from the boosters, which is, in my summation, awesome. All of my cities are building things. Nobody is finished. I've spent all my gold for this turn. I'm not going over the minutiae of every single tiny decision anymore. And instead, I'm just going to give you a general vibe. I'm going to bring this Urkan back to my lands to get him healed up, and I'll move this army up to support my main army. So the Wild Walkers are not afraid of me because we share a common enemy, or rather they have a positive view of me because we share a common enemy. I think they are also sort of taking an antagonistic relationship with the Maikara. I'm going to put this city under siege while we bring units to fight this battle. Elfuso has leveled up again, but there isn't really anything worth leveling them up at. I mean, I guess I can take Arboreal Dust Dowser for a tiny trickle more gold from their forest tile. Unwin Weybridge has leveled up again. We can finally get Dust Trickery to continue to pump extra gold into my economy. Exit the Chosen has leveled up to level 5. Now, this is the guy running a sort of production-based city, I think was the vibe. So I'll take 1 point of Will of Aki, 1 point of Proselytizer, and then make my way to Inspirational Leader. Rock Striker has leveled up again, so we shall grab him. I'm going to give him improved Auriga Affinity so that he's even better at scooping up pearls. I've got 10,000 gold in the bank. Yeg would like a lumber mill. That's a fun building. I would love to build another burrow in here, but the city needs another 2 population. So let me go ahead and crank 2 more pops in there, and then we'll grab that burrow. I'll even quick buy that burrow. I'll grab a burrow street in Kentimus, as well as the Imperial News Network for that +2 production per pop. The Chapel of Auriga is also worth it. The Dust Depository isn't necessary, but I will build it just for the completeness sake of the city, plus it is worth experience on Exit the Chosen for building it. Now I've got 7,000 gold to play around with, so I'll pop into Slick, and I'll buy 2 more population in here, place another borough. We do have the level 2 on the Alchemical Institute, and I want to extend my city up to the Dustwater here. So I'll pay the money to shunt that forward. Now, Endigir has been a city that, again, has been neglected for a very long time, but it's finally getting its heyday. Let's go ahead and buy all of these buildings that are queued up, as well as the garrison draft. That should get this guy an amazing amount of experience per turn. We'll grab Dust Filtration for extra gold, an extra 10% science on this city. There's no reason not to. We'll also take Right of Way. We'll build a Chapel of Auriga for even more population. Really just trying to pump as much production into these cities as possible. Okay, now we're going to come down here and build all of these expansion points, watchtowers, resources. It doesn't matter what it is. We're going to build them all, and we're going to pay the money to finish them fast. Click, 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 click. All of them are completed. Oh yeah, this is the phase of the game I love playing, the Dust Lords. We're practically we've reached a point of expansion, of power, that we have become unstoppable. And every civilization in this game can reach that point eventually. Jocelyn Deval has leveled up again. I do think Mining Authority is actually a really good power, so I'm going to focus on leveling that up, because there are a decent number of extractable resources in the capital. Like if you look here, 6 titanium, 2 glass steel, 2 palladium, a hyperium. So getting all those is actually quite valuable. I will place a borough in the capital and then quick buy it. I also do want the Imperial News Network, and I'll buy that too because that's 2 gold per pop in here. Otherwise, you are to continue to produce military for me. And Baron Jocelyn is at such a level now where I think I'm just going to sell off the garrison units and instead focus on the production of high-tier combat units. Owaki the second has leveled up again, and we can finally grab natural resources for +6 production on the city. Excellent. This is the guy managing the city of Endigir. I will grab myself another borough, and I will immediately purchase it. I don't think the apprenticeship registry is worth picking up, as is the National Museum for the little bit of influence. Otherwise, we just let the city do whatever it wants until it's well developed. Yeg needs more construction advice, so I'll buy 2 more population. I'll pop a borough down. I'll immediately purchase the borough, and we'll start the construction of an industrial zone. This might be another city where it's worth it for me to start producing military out of. Yeah, I think I'm going to sell off my garrison here and start mass producing military units at a ratio of 2 stalwarts to every dust bishop. When I say mass producing, it's going to be a slow process to build up our military power. But these are ultimate level military units. Ultra late game. Okay, construction queue is completed, and I reckon now that we have our 2 armies together, I think we could go ahead and attack here. Yeah, we heavily outnumber them. They're not even prepared. We will automatically attack. We've completely wiped out the Maikaran militia, and we now control the city of Belloc, and the Empire of Rizoma has been defeated, which means we need a settler for... I'll pop into the city of Slick, where I will quickly buy a settler. I'm also going to buy the apprenticeship registry and the lumber mill to get a tiny little bit of a trickle of production in this city. I'm going to sell another garrison unit so that we can choose to produce 2 stalwarts and a dust bishop in here. Again, just moving in the direction of producing military units. The Wild Walker hero has leveled up once again. Let's have a look at his city. Dust Depository is fine. We'll build another expansion in here. We need a hero for the city of Belloc. And I'm kind of at the point where I'm tempted to start automating my cities. I don't have any good heroes to assign to these cities, so I'm just going to leave that as it is. I'm super behind on strategic, so I'm going to try to buy myself up to 100 glass steel, or even just buy up to 50 of the resources that I lack to give myself more options on these cities. I think our next move is to head north to capture the Urkan Chaka. I don't think that's owned by anybody. So I'll head up north to see if I can tame him. All right, we got our settler in Slick. Let's start that as a new army. Reckon we'll plonk the city down right there. It's not an amazing spot, but it is a decent spot. Skadoosh. So we fully captured this whole sector of the map, and we're continuing to develop our empire. We've got room for 2 more boroughs in this city, so let's go ahead, pop 2 more population in here. We'll build that borough. Plus 5 gold on terrain with dust would be fantastic. So I'm going to go for the dust revitalizer. The 40% dust on this city. I mean, this isn't a massive dust producing city, but it is still worth it in my opinion. And there are some pretty nice luxury resource extractors in here. So the advanced extraction could also be good. So I'm going to grab Town Crier. We need so much glass steel. I'm just going to buy the market out of glass steel because we just need it that much. But yeah, I'll crank some gold into this city for a turn or two while we try to quote-unquote finish it. All right, I'm going to put Wadiya Hakan in charge of Akka, which is my new city. They're not a particularly useful hero, but they do give you a small trickle of science. And they can learn Inspirational Leader as well as Firestarter. Not a bad leader of cities. Genuinely, I would much prefer if I had a Broken Lord hero in basically every city, with the exception of my Influence city, but you know, certain things you don't have control over. So the Draken are annoyed at me because I had the lust for conquest. Now, they don't like that they have a lower number of cities to me and a lower global score. But the Wild Walkers, on the other hand, see me as a blood brother. I'm going to go ahead and see if they want peace with me. Although, I think I have a faction quest to conquer one of their cities, so I may hold off on that. Oh, nice. Ozek the Chosen is about to grab Inspirational Leader, level 3. This guy is absolutely insane for this city. Like, we can totally just switch this city's productivity on a dime. Although what we really want is that influence from here. It means we could basically ignore influence elsewhere in our empire. All right, let's grab 2 more population in here and place the borough. This city is now complete. I'm gonna sell off the garrison in here and start the mass production of military. The city is, as far as I'm concerned, complete and no longer needs buildings from me. Okay, I'm gonna pop into Ashk now, and I'm gonna go to the bottom of this production queue, and I'm just gonna click to finish everything in here. And then I'm gonna queue up all of the buildings that I can find. I'm gonna scroll to the bottom of that list again, and I'm gonna just click until I run out of money or basically finish the city. And then I'm gonna come up here to the population number. I'm gonna just make a whole bunch of pop. Hey, it was just a little fire alarm. You know, I don't remember what I was talking about because that sort of shit will, you know, break your train of thought pretty easily, pretty heavily. Oh man, you love to see this kind of a construction queue in a city like Ak. Let me pop in here, and now the city is churning. All right, so we're lacking a little bit of glass steel. Let's have a look. I think there's still some on the market here. Go ahead and buy out the market. Grab all that glass steel. Mithrite is also another target of mine. We need a certain amount of that. We were making 9 glass steel a turn, and it still ain't enough. Now, Wada Hakan has leveled up. They actually got 2 levels. I'm going to take 2 levels of Renaissance Thinker just to get that little bit of base science pumping away inside this city. Nice, research is completed. We got the difference engine. So we're getting 100% science towards, well, just 100% science in general. We're going to go for dust-driven distillery now to get the 100% gold on cities. Nice, I pacified 8 villages, which gets me tactical training, which is a 15% initiative boost on my units. That means they act earlier in combat, basically. I'm wondering if I could find a nice spy to infiltrate an enemy city here. Wild Walker heroes actually make decent city governors, so I'll go ahead and grab one of those. I'll have a look at my city list. Looks like Baylock does not have a hero, so let's go ahead and assign that new hero to it. Man, I can't explain how much I'm enjoying playing Endless Legend. I think I might try to do a playthrough of every faction here and slowly climb my way up the the difficulty levels. We've got a dust eclipse here. I'm going to create a new army with this settler. I'm going to migrate my urkan over here to see if we can do something. And I'll see if I can settle this little peninsula over here, which will give me a border with the wild walker duders. My Skia Keeper leveled up. So I'll go ahead and grab Arboreal Dust Dowser on him, continuing to see them make strides. Loving the Mining Authority and Baron Jocelyn, thank you. Make sure we dismiss these once we go through these hero levels. Erzgo Lastmark, if you've been keeping up with them, they're about to finish off researching alchemical genius. Now, they were governing the city of Slick, so the science in here is just starting to become outrageous, which is really, really fun. I'm enjoying this sort of like build an impossibly powerful civilization kind of gameplay. Ozek the Chosen has level 2, and I took a promotion for Dust in the city of Vaiksul. I've officially built all of the boroughs I can here. It does not matter if I put 2 more pop in here. Oh, I can build a borough, but there's nowhere I can place it. So this city is officially, like, adding more pop here does not actually help. Now, I think it would be good for me to build a reliquary of Aruga, but I think the place I'm going to build that is in the capital. It's going to give me 100 gold per level on the reliquary, plus it'll half my military upkeep. So I'm going to just pop that right there. It should immediately get to the maximum level. It'll cost me 8,000 to buy it, but I think that's worth it. It's a world achievement. Only one person can do it. Martin Ildan de Saluzzo has leveled. We have full dust trickery, so let's go ahead and backfill for inspirational leader. Start getting those yields up and up. And Sidley Owaki Sidley, he has leveled up. I'm going to go ahead and grab Natural Architect on him. Now, if I remember, he was leading the city of Endigir. I'll pop 2 more population into Endigir and grab myself another borough in there. Not really going to pump gold in here. It's not the kind of city for that. But yeah, if there was an economy victory for this game, I would have won it. 100%, hands down, unstoppable. The kind of empire that I've built. My score should be insane. Nice, there's a reliquary of Aruga. Akku has finished its construction queue. I got so much score, it's crazy. Okay, Undant has finished a Dust Bishop, which is the sort of alert that I need to know that I'm going to make a new army stack. And then I'll queue up a Scyther at the front of the queue to add to that army. I will buy 2 more population in here. Also, the amount of gold that each individual pop is worth now for me is absolutely bonkers. I'm fully expecting to completely encase this city in districts. Now, I need to recruit a hero for this new army stack. It's this deep in the game, and I've only now recruited my 2nd army. Ooh, I like the idea of recruiting you to be a spy. So Sableblade Ayu Ado III, I will go ahead and recruit you, and I will infiltrate the city of Dardagar using Sableblade, so we'll pop her in there. And this allows me to actually see what's going on in this city, what they're working on. Like, they're building a Ceratan, they're working on a canal system. They're focused heavily on science. First things first I want on this spy is the ability to move her around easily. So I will take Managed Torpor to be able to reassign her. I'll take Double or Nothing for a seniority bonus, and I will also take level 1 step ahead so that they have less time in jail if they ever get captured. You can see here there's a 13% chance of getting captured if we do in fact run a assignment here. Right, I'm going to take Nahla Al-Jazar as a general unit. I will recruit her, and I will put her in charge of this army over here. I'm going to give her Junder's Ward, which is an incredibly powerful scepter. Just to kind of put that into perspective, this has 107 attack and 56 damage, compared to the tier 3 staff, which has tier 3 dust staff, which has 24 attack and 36 damage. So an incredibly powerful hero item on this mage. Now we'll also go for the dust armor to increase her defenses. We're going to take the dust insignia for the army health boost, the titanium insignia for the army damage boost, and then we'll give her the iron talisman for improved movement. This one we're going to go for a bit of a wide stance when it comes to picking things. So for example, we're going to take defensive tactician for +5 defense on all the units in this army. Ooh, that's a nice reward from a, declaration of war needed. Hold on. I want to open borders back. No, they closed their borders on me. Those jerks. Whatever. Okay, nice. We're going to go ahead and settle another city over here. Again, I don't see a reason not to settle. Settle as many damn cities as I want. And I'm going to start just putting any old leader in charge of a city to slowly make our way towards inspirational leader. Meanwhile, in places like my capital, I'm going to continuously be investing gold into more population to make more boroughs, and then finishing them on the same turn, in the hope that I can create a city that is of an unimaginable economic scale, is the goal. We have been attacked by some urkan lice. Not that I care, should be an easy kill. I see. They were able to catch my hero on a tile on his own, so his units couldn't really defend themselves properly. So it was a little bit of a weird eventuality. We basically never have to look at the Empire plan screen ever again because we have all the influence we'll ever need. All right, we're finally going to do this weird flying quest. All right, let's see here. Single flying unit. Keep armies from other empires away from the region of Terwin for 5 turns minimum. I'll get the Scythe of Aruga. Okay, well, I don't know if I can do that. All right, what's going on down here? Have you guys finished building your boroughs? Nope. Still got a room for a few more. It's probably unnecessary to continue to expand my economy like this, but it is fun. And that's why I'm never going to stop doing it. As long as you guys are okay with that, that's cool. Perfect. A couple of scythers have been finished, as well as a couple of my cities finishing a few districts. I'm going to keep working on those bad boys. The natural thing to do is to try to buy 2 pops per turn and then just spam them out by making boroughs. It's what I'm trying to use my money on every turn is just making boroughs and pops in my biggest cities so I can basically finish them. And by finish them, I mean literally take no more actions in these cities. I'm looking forward to getting the dust-driven distillery and getting that 100% dust on my cities. That's going to be exciting. You've already discovered 2 technologies out of the 5 required to achieve a scientific victory. Neat. I guess this will be a science victory. I'll research endless alloys. I don't really want a science victory. Instead, I shall research hydrology. Yeah, I want to learn the Borers Guild and industrial processing. Also, it would be kind of fun to get like the marvelous armor. Ooh, I'll also research advanced quarrying. That sounds like fun. It's weird. I'm enjoying playing this game so much. Even though I'm winning, I don't want it to end. I want to keep playing, which is kind of odd because usually when I'm playing this kind of a game, I get sick of playing the game at the very end. But that is not the case here with Endless Legend. There's something so very Moorish about it that you want to keep playing. You want the game to continue. And I find that utterly fascinating that I'm not sick of the game, even though like the turns take forever and very little happens. But yeah, I just want to keep playing. It's a damn good game. We have assembled an incredibly powerful battle stack, and I'm going to go ahead and send them off to fight the Wild Walker dudes, because I got a city that I got to conquer for my faction quest. 22,000 gold per turn. Ain't nothing. It's not a big deal. No, it's a pretty average amount of money. Pretty, this is just Broken Lords things. All right, I've gone through and continued the construction on a whole bunch of different cities. No more cities need help, and I've already spent my money this turn. Sort of working through the list of heroes I need to keep leveling. And perfect. So now I just need to command my armies. It's a little bit of a slow and tedious process to manage your empire in this game, in the ultra late game. But that's not the end of the world. All right, we've got fresh eyes on the game of Endless Legend today here. It's been another day since I've played. And man, I realized just how addicted I got to this game yesterday. Because I played it for like 6 to 7 hours straight. I had chores I was meant to do. I had a life I was meant to live. But man, did I get sucked in. It is so much fun. Really, really happy with the experience I've had with Endless Legend so far. It really captures the feel of building up an empire. Okay, he's done chapter 1 out of the 5 of the victory quest. So Makoa is close to a victory. So we could declare war on them and just see how that plays out. But I'm trying not to play like a player. That seems boring to me. Okay, so looking at the city of Baylock, we could build automated production here. This would give us +3 industry on terrain with industry. I'm going to do a little bit of a zoom out here because I think there's a few things we could build here, like a pixie blood extractor. We're a little bit light on the old glass steel. When are we not light on glass steel? However, I am capable of buying out the market every turn, which is quite nice. So we can keep getting these luxury resource extractors. Yeah, I think it would be good to get the glory of the empire. We'll pop that in there. Mining rights for strategics would be good too. There is glass steel being produced in here, so that'll be handy. I'm going to go ahead and move these guys over to production because I do have a Wild Walker hero in charge of this city, which means I think production's a little bit more important. I will buy borough streets though. I think that's worth it to do. In basically every city, it's worth it to buy borough streets if they can continue to expand. Like my capital over here, like look at this district, this network of districts that I've built all throughout this territory, and you can kind of tell the difference between tiles that are being exploited here with the farmland and tiles that aren't. And despite this massive array of boroughs, my city is still very happy. But we're going to go ahead and buy 2 more population in the capital. A single pop in here is worth an absurd amount of gold now. Like 80 gold per turn or something ridiculous. We'll pop a little borough street over here, get up another 18 signs and 20 gold. And I will purchase through the borough streets to just make the city basically unstoppable. I'm going to buy 2 more population in Yeg as well, so I can place another borough. And our goal is to try to get all of the terrain exploited. So there's 13 more gold in there. We scroll down and we finish the borough streets. Any of the production the city has should overflow into the Scyther. And then we'll come into Sleek as well. We'll buy 2 more population in here and get ourselves another borough street. There's a nice one here on the coast. I've got a little bit of cash left over. Maybe I can pop into Amenvar and help this city out. So I'll buy 2 more population in here and place another borough. And then quick buy the borough. That's basically all of the gold for this turn spent. Now, we need to work on this place. I do think a canal system is good. +1 industry on terrain with industry. And I'll also get the automated production improvement to get even more production from the tiles in here. And I will place a borough right here on this tile to level up this strategic intensifier. We want it to be level 2. Industrial zone. Yeah, we don't need to create those. We're churning out production here. Oh, this hero is leveled up. We'll take a look at that in a moment. I do think that the Imperial News Network is also worth building because it's good scaling from the population. Okay, so Sitli Owaki II has leveled up. I will go ahead and take another level in Natural Architect for that 15% production on the city. And Wadaha Hakan has leveled up. So I'm going to start making my way to the left over here to get Inspirational Leader. Kentamis would like to build another borough. I'll go ahead and grab the canal system and the automated production improvement. That should help out this city's production capacity. Should probably also think about recruiting an army over here. I don't think it's really important at the moment. I do think mining rights could be fantastic. +1 resources from Strategic Resource. We have 4 Hyperium extractors here, so I think we'll go ahead and grab that. It'll take a little bit of time. All of my cities have been handled. Let's go ahead and send our troops out. I want to investigate this city over here that we have a quest to take. A bunch of stuff just got finished. Let's pop into Endegear. Winter has started, unfortunately. Now, looking at Endegear, we could definitely build another borough in here. The city is churning out lovely production, so I'll pop 2 pops in here, and I will grab the borough street. Now, where do I want to pop this? I think over here, 28 signs seems pretty good. Oh, National Craft Works. We definitely want that in the capital. Doubling the capability of luxury resource boosters. I think we just researched that, right? Yeah, industrial processing. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we definitely want production line. The city is using its population as mineral workers. We're also going to grab automated production in here because there's a decent amount of terrain here that does have production on it. The glass steel harvesting and the mithrite harvesting in here needs mining rights to increase the strategic resource output. And I don't want to build the arts council. Well, there's no reason not to build the arts council. I may as well. It will be useful in here eventually. Oh, Duke Unwin Weybridge has leveled up again, so we can grab Dust Trickery on him. Now, he was in Amenvar, so I think I will move him back to gold production. That's what the people in this town are better at doing, thanks to the Duke, which means we should buy through all of these garrison drafts to get him to level up faster and just fill out his garrison. I will build the canal system for the +1 production. The Advanced Alchemy Lab is nice. Large Scale Aquatic Center is also nice. The Nyctalopian lenses for the 10% science. I don't need the production line. I would like automated production, however, for that passive production gain. Imperial funding is not necessary. Would love the Imperial News Network because that's +2 gold per pop. And then we'll kind of leave things as they are there. Would love to build a borough, so I'm going to pop 2 population in here. And I'll pop a borough right there. I will purchase the borough. I'll purchase the canal system and the automated production just to try and get this city a little bit of passive productivity. We'll come back here and look at this again. But once again, into the capital. We're going to buy 2 more population. It's a 50 pop city now. We'll get another borough and quick purchase it, spending an awful lot of money on that. But the capital is just absurd. We have 50 pops in here, 7,000 gold per turn. Baron, what's his name here? His dust efficiency. Every level he gets is another 1%. Just look at all this money, man. 800 from population, 700 from the city, 2,000 from city improvements, 200 from trade routes, 5 from secondary, 7 from accessory, 600 from fervent, 1,000 from dust boosters, 400 from the empire plan, 100 from the delver, 850 from the hero skill, 1,900 from dust driven distillery, 300 from hero capacity, and minus a little bit from upkeep. Really, really fantastic stuff in here. Probably should get the canal system. There's no reason not to. I'm going to put a spy into this city. Now, capture or destroy the city of Trode. That was our mission. Now that is going to bring us into conflict with the Wild Walkers. Okay, we've unlocked Marvelous Armor. I'm quite curious about what things become available with the Marvelous Armor. So let me have a look at Baron Jocelyn here. 35 health and 25% damage versus 38 health and 20% defense. Okay. What about accessories? Improved attack, so a better attack bonus, better defense bonus, City Breaker for sieging, retaliation, +2 food per pop on your city. Interesting. Group cohesion. Now what is that? +1 morale per adjacent friendly unit. Okay. Ooh, fast learner. +50% experience gains. That's quite powerful. Infiltration. Oh, better infiltration. Scope of the adept. Army health boost. Army attack boost. Army defense boost. All very cool stuff. Okay, I'm wondering if there are any economic buildings that I haven't actually grabbed. There's a trade route building. I guess that's pretty good. Dust enhanced buildings. That's pretty okay. Trade routes from cities. So I think we're mostly just missing like the trade building. So I'll quickly grab highway outposts. I will also grab dust enhanced buildings and the enlightened trade benefit. Pop into the capital once again. Buy 2 more pops. I will build a strategic intensifier on the Mithrite and a borough next to the Dustwater extractor. I'll pop into Yegg, buy 2 more pops, and keep on purchasing those districts. That's our main goal right now, is just to keep the old cities expanding. You could probably question as to whether it's a good goal, but it is the goal. Activating all my resource boosters on cooldown to get them all going. I'm going to build the National Craft Works in the capital to double the effects of resource boosters in this city. I will also build the automated production line and the mining rights ability. I'll take a little while to build all those things, but we will get to them. Okay, so it looks like a Guardian is roaming Aldadev. This would get me access to the Tome of Endless Savagery, so I don't know where the Aldadev is. Okay, I'm going to build a Dust Revitalizer in here. That's +5 on terrain with dust, which should theoretically be the ocean tiles. I'll quickly grab the Caravansary as well. A bunch of my heroes are still in the process of leveling up. So I'm going through and managing this. I already did that guy. Boom. Oh, Baron Jocelyn Deval is level 18. Very impressive, actually, how full his skill tree is. Ooh, population is costing over 2,000 gold in my capital city. And buying the borough is now up to 5,000 gold. Although the capital itself is making nearly 10,000 per turn. So it is, providing a return on its investment. All right, we finished a dust enhanced building. Now we're working on enlightened trade. I'm going to go ahead and research the serum of Itaru to gain 100% life and 100% damage on my units. Oh, wow. The Octagon plus 20 experience per turn on Governor. That's kind of absurd, actually, how powerful that is. But I definitely want it in the capital with Baron Jocelyn Deval so I can level them up. Now, the Arena of Champions, on the other hand, definitely wants to be built in Weichsel, which is my influence city. It'll give us another huge boost to the influence of this town. Okay, construction is blocked here in Sleek. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this garrison. I'm going to sell them off. And these stalwarts of these bishops will be turned into an army. We'll need another hero to lead that army as well. I'm going to inject a bunch of cash in here. Imperial News Network is nice. We'll just sort of buy our way through everything except for the unit. We'll buy 2 more population in here, and we'll buy the borough to push this city up into a stronger position. Also, the leader in here leveled up. And I am not sure what I should level up here. +1 trade route capacity could be handy. We are making use of trade routes. Like, we're generating a decent amount of income from trade routes. I was not expecting trade routes to be that useful, if I'm going to be frank with you guys. I'm going to grab Coup de Grace. That will allow me to grab Cold Operator, and that will allow me to move over to Artisan's Eye for the 15 base damage and then 20% damage boost on units. That'll be nice. Oh, wow, yeah. The Baron has gained 2 levels, which is insane, which means we can immediately get a 10% gold boost to the city, further skyrocketing the sheer quantity of gold being produced in the capital. And I'm immediately going to put 2 more pops in there and build yet another borough. It's costing 5,000 gold to buy. I didn't know you could trade with yourself. Oh, wow. The trade routes in Kentamis is now a lot better. Very cool. So I'm just going to queue up a whole bunch of units in here. And when the city finishes its construction queue, that'll be a new roaming army that I will have. I'm going to become a very dangerous force in the game soon. I think next turn we're going to look for war with the Wild Walkers. So we're going to pop in here and we're going to do a declaration of war. See if we can't pop this city. There we go. We're up in it. We're going to put it under siege. I think we should attack. Although, no, I think we're going to maintain the siege for a turn. Well, I guess we'll just auto-fight it. Yeah, it looks like we obliterated them. So capture or destroy the city of Trode. We get 35 Titan bones. We're going to search the temple ruins in Trode with an army led by hero Martin de Soluzzo that contains at least one level 6 dust bishop. I don't have a level 6 dust bishop. Maybe I can buy one? Okay, I'll quick purchase a dust bishop in Trode to see if that can help. I'm hoping. Okay, nice. I've got 30,000 gold. Like, the UI cannot handle the amount of gold that I'm producing in this city, which I find infinitely entertaining. We caught a Wild Walker army out in the open, so we're going to go ahead and blast them. Looks like no conclusion to the battle. No, we did gain a bunch of money, though, for the fight, which I don't fully understand, but I'm not going to question it. All right, I'll take Lorekeeper Lac Aspasard II and put him in charge of this new city. We're kind of starting to kind of dredge the bottom of the barrel for leaders. I think I'd like to research the mithrite alloys here. I'm kind of curious about the idea of making like mithrite based units just to kind of screw around. Yeah, I'm at the screwing around phase of playing the game, which honestly doesn't feel so bad. It's quite fun. Jesus, my empire outputs 24,000 signs per turn. That's absurd. I can pretty much win the game whenever I want, but I'm kind of curious about this faction quest. All right, cool. I managed to finish Wings of Ruin by accident, and I gain the Scythe of Aruga, the two-handed thing that gives Guardian Slayer, and 2 Construct armies and 7,000 dust. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to recruit a Dust Bishop in this city because I think it actually wants me to search this one. It's very confusing what the quest actually wants me to do for this faction thing. I'm doing my best to fulfill it. Oh, wow. You've already accumulated 787 out of the 99900 required to achieve an economic victory. Where is this? I didn't even know there was an economic victory condition. How do I see these victory conditions? Quest journal, heroes, Is there like a victory screen that tells you how close you are to victory? Oh god, all my heroes are leveling. The amount of stuff I have to do in the late game here. It's so crazy. Okay, looks like they have a guardian on their side, but our armies are just so terrifying that it should not be a problem if we go on the offensive. We have like super high level late game armies, which makes us very, very difficult to deal with. We have the Serum of Itaru now, giving us 100% life and 100% damage on all our units, which is... I don't think I need to explain to you that 100% damage and 100% experience is powerful, or like just doubling something is a bonus, okay? And typically, a very powerful bonus, provided you're starting with a sufficient amount of something. Oh my god, this guy got 9 levels from all the money I pumped into his city. Amazing. So I'll take Narrative Master, and then work my way up to Inspirational Leader and Cold Operator, so he's a great general of cities now. Oh yeah, oh, it was him leveling up a bunch of times. That's why, okay, it wasn't all my heroes leveling, it was this guy leveling up. I pumped so much gold into his city that he leveled up like a bajillion times. All right, I have a new army stack here. I think I'm going to assign De Soluzzo to this because I have the level 6 Dust Bishop that we wanted to do that with. Right, let's go ahead and attack these Wild Walker armies with our 2 armies. Inconclusive, they made a successful retreat. No big deal, we did a significant amount of damage to them. Oh wow, actually dust equipment is quite a bit worse than I thought. It's decent amounts of damage, but if you compare it to something like the Palladian weapons here, 77 attack, 6 defense, 12 initiative, and 48 damage. You compare that to this, 21, 6, 32. Yeah, I think we're gonna be outfitting this guy in Palladian armaments. So yeah, this guy's completely outfitted in Palladian now. He's got a Palladian greatsword. His initiative extremely high. He does a lot of damage. He's got army attack and damage boosts, all that stuff. Super, super, super powerful. So I've got a huge excess of Hyperium. So, or rather, yeah, Hyperium. So I'm kind of curious about the idea of a Hyperium stalwart. Amazingly, even the Hyperium weapons. Sorry, it's a... Yeah, Hyperium here. Look at Hyperium, 89 attack. Oh wow, 89 attack, 6 defense, 48 damage. Hyperium shield has lower defense than most things, but does give the sit unit a 15% damage boost. What if I put a 2-handed Hyperium weapon on there? 58 damage, Infantry Slayer 4. Ooh. Right, we're going to attack this Guardian. We're not going to bring in reinforcements. We're going to auto attack. The opponents made a retreat. And hopefully I'm going to catch them off guard once again by getting behind them and auto-fighting. Amazing. We destroyed their guardian. Call that a successful attack. A sexful attack? Successful attack. Interesting. Looks like somebody is attacking the purple player. Whoever this blue player is that I have yet to meet. Okay, I got the Pendant of Judgment, which is a Broken Lord's only hero item. 20 science on the city. Search the unspoiled ruins with the Pendant of Judgment with a Broken Lord's hero. Jesus, okay, these faction quests get kind of demanding. I'm probably going to win the game from gold. Just, wait, the Saluzzo disappeared. Well, rip, I guess I'll grab Bishop Julian. Bishop Julian II, and then I have another Bishop Julian II. That's amazing. I have 2 Bishop Julians II. These guys are never going to get confused between each other. No chance. Okay, so it looks like we're about 3 turns away from winning the game. We've already accumulated 900,000 gold out of the 990, the million gold you need to win a victory. Oh, whoa. The Wild Walkers have reached chapter 1 out of 5 of the victory quest. Now, I don't know what the victory quest is, but you know, I'll just start researching the victory conditions. Trying to keep these damn cities busy is becoming a chore. No, like, I mean, to be fair, I've played, what, how many turns? 197 turns, and the game is only now beginning to sort of become a chore for me. Which, in my mind, that's a great accomplishment, of this game. Like, I've been having a great time up until this point, where now it's a little bit and I think part of it is just down to the fact that I've won, right? It's you know, a lot of these decisions that I'm making, well, they don't actually matter. But I have enjoyed my time with this game. It is an exceptionally good game that can keep your attention through this much micromanagement. And so that's why I'm going to give Endless Legend like a tentative stamp of approval. I think it very much so captures the joy of building a very powerful gold-based empire. Like, the Broken Lords play in a very unique and interesting way. Super fun. Like, the strategic considerations I had were fascinating. Now, I haven't really looked at the combat of the game. I think one of the things that I firmly believe, okay, and you will never convince me otherwise, is that Amplitude just are not very good making interesting combat systems in their games. Some people love the combat of, like, Humankind. Some people love the combat of this game. I do think that this combat is interesting, but it's too hands-off to be fun. It's weird. I'm just going to describe it as weird. The people who know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know, maybe if the video does really well, yeah, tell you what, right? Editor, put this at the start of the video. Right? If this video does really, 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 really well, talking 100,000 views in the first month, I'll do another video on Endless Legend. I tell you that. And I'll go over some of the game's mechanics and stuff. So did you hear me, editor? Put this at the start of the video. 100,000 views a month, I'll do another video. So if you want another Endless Legend video, share it, like it, comment, do everything you need to do. Show your love for this game, because I've been really, really enjoying it. You know what? I'm going to do a spectator to show you what the battle system looks like. So if you've played Humankind, you'll be kind of familiar with this units kind of sprawling out on the actual terrain of the map, which was a very cool innovation. You can see my Scythers, they have a line attack, so they do damage in a line. Which makes them very powerful. They're also flying, so they ignore most terrain penalties. And they're devastating. They're very, very devastating. And you can see we have a 69% chance to do 380 damage, a 14% chance to crit for 600 damage, and a 13% chance to graze the enemy for lower damage. So there is a dice roll in the game's mechanics. And the enemy gets to attack back. You can see our defense is really high, so there's a good chance our enemies graze or just do no damage to us. Like, these guys have a 25% chance to do no damage. Now, I don't exactly know how, like, the maths for this works out, but yeah. But you can see my stalwarts have actually really low attack, but extremely high defense, which is how the units are meant to be played by design. Whereas if you compare that to the Dredge, they have relatively high attack and relatively low defense. My Dust Bishops have a very low attack, but we can lower the enemy's defense, meaning we have a better chance to actually hit and or crit with our other units. So quite powerful Dust Bishops. Dust Bishops are a great support unit with your stalwarts, because I believe they have a heal ability. I don't know how their heal ability works. Basically, if they kill something, they'll heal units around them. Something like that anyway. Or if a unit that this unit has attacked dies, your unit will heal. Something like that. But yeah, there's just like, I do like a lot of the ideas in the combat here in Endless Legend, but I just don't find it particularly super exciting, I guess you could say. And there's also a morale system that I don't fully like understand. I mean, having high morale gives you bonuses, right, to your attack and defense, which increases your chance to hit and crit. But yeah, being on the high ground gives you an attack bonus. There's phases of combat, but for the most part, I think the combat is kind of... And even when you fight the battle manually, you kind of don't actually tell your units what to do. You give them objectives. So you say, I want you to go to this tile, or you say, hey, I want you to try to attack this unit. And then based on the initiative, your units will try to execute those orders. They'll try to like achieve their objectives. So like if you tell them to go to a tile, they'll go to that tile. And if there's an enemy unit adjacent to them, they will then attack. Or if you tell them to attack a specific unit, they will try to get within range of that unit, picking better defensive tiles if they're a ranged unit, for example, or tiles that will give them an attack boost, like high ground, and attack them. And I kind of like that hands-off, not having to micromanage. You say like, hey, I want you to attack this, attack this, attack this. But honestly, I think it's better off in auto-resolve. I like games that have a sort of auto-resolve that you can watch. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm just going to smash end turn a couple times to win a victory. We'll win a turn 200 victory, which I think is pretty darn good. We're making 43,000 gold this turn. And there we go. We are victorious. The Broken Lords have achieved a economic victory. Awesome. The Broken Lords are my favorite faction in Endless Legend. I think possibly followed by the Necrophages. But you can see here, the purple player here, Makoa, kind of took off, but the AI isn't quite as good as players at scaling my economy. And the Broken Lords do have this sort of, but the best way to describe it is they have a parabolic projection on their economy. It starts off with a very low curvature that's below other AIs, but can start to curve up at an insane rate. The capability of the Broken Lords to explode is insane, especially if you look at dust. You can see, like, for most of the game, my dust income was not that much more than other players, but once you hit that sort of Era 3 dust refinery, it like kicks your economy into a new gear, and then you can continue to kick into new gears. And like all of my yields will look like this. I was super behind on quests. I feel like this map is really biased against the Broken Lords, but I liked my expansion. My population went crazy. My population was so low, and this is just like iconic for the Broken Lords, is their population always sucks early game. My research always stayed fairly competitive, and then I broke ranks and just started going crazy. We don't even make food. We barely even had industry this game. But the game is super fun. I really, really like this game. And yeah, Endless Legend. I think it's a super fun game. Wait, I'm missing an expansion pack? Well, if you want to see me play more Endless Legend, do let me know. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very, very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!